Yes, good evening. I am joined by Benji, Dan E, and Lubo as we're going to talk about Tottenham. Guys, first of all, I hope you're all well. Everyone good?
Yeah,
all good.
Good. I'll stop asking a simple question before we go too deep into it. For me, that was gut wrenching. I felt like that for all the games this season. That was the biggest gut punch for me in terms of having been behind for so long, getting to 2-1 with 4 minutes to go, and then 30 seconds on the clock. Felt like a defeat for me. How did you guys feel at the final whistle?
It did feel like a defeat, but that's the emotions of football because, you're looking at it on 83 minutes, you're looking at it thinking it's going to be another one of those days, isn't it? I mean, Vicario didn't actually make a save the whole game. Got one save. I thought United played some nice, pretty football at times, but they weren't decisive. There wasn't much there, to be honest. I was really disappointed with them, considering the form that they've shown recently.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's funny actually because you score two quick goals, and then you're thinking, Jesus, all of a sudden, we're second in the table if we can hold on to this. And we played in patches, didn't we? First half, I thought was shocking. I thought it was two really poor teams. I thought we had Johnson's cross, and then we gave them a goal. And take those two things out, there was absolutely nothing to talk about in the first half. And the second half, I thought we started well. Shane Romero hasn't got a left foot. The keeper's made two saves, which has made the wrong choice with Johnson for the disallowed goal instead of Udogie. Then there was a bit of nothing, and then Spurs came back into it last 20. It was a patch. It wasn't, but it was a good second half. Overall, 5 or 6 out of 10, I suppose. But yeah, she came away feeling really gutted because it was the last attack. And even though the corner was absolutely sensational for accuracy, and the way United played it with Yoro putting Mickey van der Ven into the middle so that he was away from De Ligt. It's for me, Richie or Danso should have been on De Ligt and not left Johnson, who completely lost it. You came away really disappointed because we just had to see out the last minute. And I remember they had a corner in the last minute in Bilbao, didn't they? And I remember saying to my son, please no, just no. Don't let this go to extra time, for Christ's sake. Yeah. Just see this out, please. And my mind went back to that when they had the corner. But I'm sure we'll talk about situations like that because you just asked about how we felt, and yes, long-winded answer, but you felt sick because you're 2-1 up.
Yeah,
you're 2-1 up. We clawed it back. We come back, and we would have won. For me, it would have been a deserved win.
I agree.
But wasn't to be.
Yeah. I mean, Benji, it was gutting, wasn't it? I literally said, as the corner was being taken, please just don't do anything Spursy. I was like, please don't do anything Spursy. see out one corner, and we are second in. Not that it really matters where we are in the league after 11 games, but couldn't quite do it, mate.
I mean, do you know what? It's weird, actually. I got very short analysis. So, look, initially I watched the game and I thought to myself, this performance is an improvement. I didn't think we played too badly, but I thought we weren't good enough to win. I mean, look, realistically, the 2 goals we conceded, the first one, you could either put up to Romero, you could either put up to Porro or Johnson for not getting Mbuemo, who was coming back from offside. So that is our fault. But the second one that they scored in the last minutes of the game, look, listen, they had their full squad in there. It was a crapshoot. And to be fair, it did look like Luke Shaw was holding Bentancur. So that's neither here nor there. But I actually rewatched the game and then I looked at the statistics and was surprised. I think when I watched it the first time, initially, I think where you've got that desperation for us to win, maybe it clouded my judgment. But watching it back the second time, the performance was actually more impressive than I realised. And I know that sounds odd to me because usually I'm quite negative. But if you look on paper, statistically, we played them off the park. We got over double the shots they did, double the shots on target. We had more possession by 5%. We had something like 445 passes completed compared to their 179 or something. Statistically, we played really well. But how did I feel initially at the end of the game? At first, yeah, I wasn't overly bothered because I didn't feel like we deserved the win. But looking back, maybe we did.
Dan, I see you just go, what?
Right,
What did
Ben,
you?
Right. He's right on everything he said, yeah. But when you turn around and say we got double the shots on target, we got 4 and they got 2. When you bring
Shots
it out
on
with
target,
something,
we got 5.
No, we got 4. I've got it in front of me. We got 4, they got 2. We had 10. We had 10 total shots, 4 on target. They had 5 total shots.
This says
2
5 and 2 here, mate.
Okay,
I'm 9 shots to their 4.
Okay, either way, fine. I'm on Sky Sports, just looking at it there. But either way, it almost makes it sound good. We did not have a good game. We went through it earlier, and a lot of people thought about it after, and also looking at it. Bar 2 players in that team, we were shit. Goalkeeper, no, not when it was needed, but they weren't exactly his fault. The defending when it mattered, crap. Spence, terrible game till he went to the right-hand side. Porro, more shocking than ever, started the blame for that first goal. He got cooked again. Romero, brilliant world-class player, excellent captain. Another game, decides not to turn up, can't be bothered. When he likes to turn up for half of them and the other half he don't want to, but I forgot he's this world-class player. That didn't really turn up today.
I'll back you up on it. I thought he was atrocious today, Romero. Not just the way he played, his attitude today was...
he looked like he couldn't be bothered. I've seen him play worse, but a couple of times when he cleared the ball, nearly screwed us up. Right, so then let's just have a look at it from the team there. When we got Van der Ven, good game as always. Seen worse out of him, seen better out of him, but good game. And that tackle that he made, that was world class, as good as any tackle I have ever seen in my life in that aspect. Nearly, if he would have missed that by the millimeter, that was a red card. Sarr, another crap game off him. Paulinho looks solid, did his job, nothing special, nothing bad. Brennan Johnson, shit as ever. Simons couldn't really get into the game. Richarlison, what a pile of why he was even
hang on. Can I just hang on? So I feel like you've just skimmed over. I thought Xavi Simons was good today. I thought
he was good as he could be.
I think he was massively in the game until the last. I thought he fizzled out of the game. I actually felt sorry for him today, Dan. I thought that he was looking, he was getting in good positions, looking up, and again he didn't have anyone. Sorry, go on. You go on. We'll talk about Simons a bit later.
He shouldn't have been taken off. Like I say, I think he found it hard to get into the game. The reason I say that, he got into positions and that, but didn't really do much with it because there was nothing to do anything with. And that's not down to him on that one. So maybe I need to go to a bit more depth on that. Basically, I saw about 3 separate occasions where he had the ball and went, and he had to look behind him to see someone there. And that includes a striker and a bloody winger. 3 separate times. He basically stood there. What the fuck do I do with the ball? What do you want me to do? And then bang, gets knocked clean off of it. He couldn't really get in the game to do anything, basically. So maybe I said it wrong. That's not his fault. That would just show the crap that we had on the pitch around him. Frank, what are you doing? I mean, personally, I could see why he started Sarr, but I would have put on Bentancur for this game. Why the hell we put Richie on the pitch, I will never know. After Odegaard had a respectable game, I would have thought this is the time to play it. The subs he made, I thought they were terrible, and he just got bloody lucky at the end of the day. I thought we were that bad.
Isn't this where it gets too far one way, though? Like, surely, if the subs he's put on, that I said this during commentary, I did not like the subs, but he got it right. He got it right. The subs changed.
It went right for him. It went right for him, but it was lucky at the same time.
We can't just say
why is it lucky?
Surely we can't say, Frank, what are you doing when his substitutes completely changed the
Okay,
game?
fine. Okay, I'll step back on that
Surely
bit. But when I could say Richarlison was still on the pitch and probably the worst player on the pitch, I could still question why was Richarlison on the pitch. You know,
Sure.
that should have
that.
happened. I do think there was definitely some luck in our game today, without a doubt. I mean, Tell's goal, I thought he actually spun that and took it very well. Yep, took a rebound, but I thought nice bit of ball control there. Odegaard, I think he played respectful when he come on. I think it's obvious we got to focus on someone on the left if we're going to keep playing a 4-2-3-1. I think a draw was a fair result. I thought the quality of the game was as crap as it was in Europe, bar maybe 2 players on each team, because no one has really argued with a word I've said about a player on there except Xavi, which I've explained my point on it. The rest of the team, Porro, he's getting played as a right back. He's not a right back. He's basically getting done to him what Ange done to him. He's getting done every single game. We've been sussed out, same as we did with Ange. Frank has got to do something about it. Until he's got the players, maybe, but if Udogie gets fit, then Spencer's got to go on the side. Or he's got to do something, because Porro is getting done every game without fail now. And he looked out today.
Go on, sir.
Can I ask though? I mean, this is the thing. Like when people say, "Oh, you're a big Frank defender," and that, I just think that this club needs some stability, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think whether it was Thomas Frank, Iriola, Glasner, Xavi, whichever name you want to put in there, this club needs a period of stability, right? This club needs a period of, right, we've got brand new everything, from brand new owners, so to speak, CEO, managing director, or whatever, non-exec director, brand new medical team, brand new coach. I feel like if we're going to do all that, then you've got to see it through. And I think at the moment, Thomas Frank is calm about it. The club seem calm about it, but the fan base don't seem like they're up for having to go through anything. And listen, whichever words people want to use, I don't really care, like project, phases, process, all of these words. At the end of the day, everything is brand new. And the thing for me, Dan, is that I think everyone on this panel and everyone in my chat knows exactly what I feel about the players, about the squad that's available, and about where we should be and shouldn't be. That's probably why I'm a lot calmer than most fans I see losing their mind every game. I don't rate a lot of these players that people think are going to be turning up and putting in good performances. And I think what we've seen, this is only my summary, right, on the first 11 games of the season. I think what we've seen here is whoever plays, half the fan base like it, half the fan base don't. So, for example, guys, I'll go on a bit of not a rant, I'll just vent a bit here. I've heard all season that Paulinho and Bentancur is the reason why the midfield doesn't work. But then whenever anyone plays alongside Paulinho that isn't Bentancur, we look worse in midfield. I thought we looked worse in there today with Sarr, because Sarr can't pass a football to save his life. I thought when Bergvall played in there the other week before he got injured, not the game he got injured, before that, I thought we looked terrible in midfield then. But everyone got what they wanted. If they wanted him to change that, he changed that. Then they wanted Simons to be the 10. Simons goes to the 10. They wanted Mawani up front. Mawani's up front. People wanted Johnson in the team because Johnson scores goals. They got Johnson in the team. And I feel we're at a stage, guys, where aren't we seeing that it doesn't really matter who plays, we don't have the quality. I genuinely don't think we've got the quality to play the way a lot of the fans want. I don't think we've got the quality to be this consistent football team which controls every game and looks really assured. And I think that's why we're seeing some really good games, some really bad games, some indifferent games. And Dan, I saw you say it yesterday or the day before, whatever. You're absolutely spot on. You were like, some of it's been good, some of it's been shit, some of it's been okay. And for me, Dan, that's what happens when you've built this squad, right? Now, we'll talk about Thomas Frank in a bit, by the way. We're not going to take all blame away from Frank, but we'll talk about him in a bit. I look at this group of midfielders, Dan, and I've seen all the arguments. I keep watching panel shows, Dan, for Spurs, and I've seen all the arguments. Oh, got to play someone who progresses the ball better than Bentancur in midfield. But no one can tell me who that player is, right? You know why? Because that player doesn't exist in our squad, right? 1 minute, everyone wants Odegaard to start on the left wing. The next minute, everyone wants to go to the three at the back. Then Odegaard gets 1 assist, and all of a sudden we need to keep Odegaard, and he's got to play every game on the left wing. You're like, okay, I'm confused. I think we are seeing what we are, guys. Sorry, to round this all off, I think we're seeing what we are. I think we have got some good players. I think when you look at Van der Ven, Romero, Paulinho, Kudus, I think the Simmons will start to come good. I think we've got some very good players. And then I think we've got a lot of young and average players around them. And with that comes very average performances. That Luba, I don't know if you agree, disagree with what I just said there, but I think a lot of fans are expecting way too much for the squad that we've got.
They probably are. I also think that, and this is where me and you will cross swords, I think if we're saying that Frank has to be given time, then I think when you look at some of the youngsters we've got in the team that are there, maybe you can turn around and say, well, we should have more established players in, but we haven't. So we've got to look at the squad we've got now till January. And I think some of these young players have got to be given time as well. I think, we're far too quick to write them off. I had this conversation with Dan earlier on his show. People, you can't judge, for me, you can't judge Odegaard in the same way that you would judge Kudus, because Kudus is 5 years, 6 years further forwards with a ton of experience, international football as well. You can't compare the two. And I think that's
but you can in a way, Lubo, right? Because Spurs went and bought this guy, right?
Yeah.
With Premier League experience, we bought him. He's a first team player. Now,
well, he is, because we didn't replace some.
Sure, I completely get that, and I'm not having a go at Odegaard or anything, but surely, if on the one hand we're saying, right, we need to give Odegaard time, Bergvall time, Gray time, Saar time, this person time. I get it. Then in the same breath, doesn't that then mean that people need to relax on their critique every game?
Absolutely. We're not going to win the Premier League this year.
No.
And
I agree.
Our squad is not good enough for me. If we're talking realistically, our squad is not good enough for top 4. I
agree.
So this is the year. If you're going to bet in, if you're going to try out kids, then this is the year to do
it. Why? Can I just ask on that? Why? Why is it the year to do it?
Why has everything got to be instant, Dan? Why can't you plan?
Who said anything about instant? You didn't know what point I was getting to. I said, why has it got to be this year? Why has it got to be this year? Yeah.
Because we haven't got the players to win trophies this year.
Okay, fine. So what's going to happen?
So for me, I thought Odegaard, second half, for me, he was our best player. I mean, he impacted the game. He was busy. And the last 20 minutes, when he started taking on the fullback and going outside him, instead of cutting back as he has done regularly all season, he absolutely cooked the geezer. He was going past him every single time. And I just think he's growing now. He's getting better. And
he's looked respectable for 2 games.
Fine. No, but it's the last 2 games, so you can see an improvement, Dan.
He should have started, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. In front of Udogie. And I would have played Spencer.
No, in front of Richarlison.
Sorry, I would have played Udogie and Odegaard on the left, and I would have played Spencer right back. And for me, I think that Frank got his team wrong today by playing Spencer at left back and playing Richarlison up there on the left.
I mean, with what I'm asking you, I'm asking. Okay, people are going to say it's a rebuild year, this and that, and everything else. Agreed. What? Why? I mean, we've got better players than them there. Okay, we train up some. We train up some of start giving all the youth ones a go. Then the results go totally downhill, and we probably don't even make it to Europa because we're playing kids who've barely played half the time. And then when it comes to the start of next season,
but how many kids are we playing, Dave?
Hang on. And then when it comes to the start of next season, I'm sure everyone's going to sit there and say, Odegaard and Gray, yes, they've definitely improved. I think Tell's looking a little bit better. No, don't go out and spend 60 million on that left winger. Don't go out and spend 50 million on that centre mid. Don't go out and buy that 80 million striker, because we've got Dane there, we've got Odegaard there, we got Tell there, we got Gray there, and they got us round about 12th, 13th place last season, or maybe 10th place. So really, I think we need to do what we can to get into Europe, to then be able to attract players next season. Because if we end up finishing 10th or 12th, we're not going to be able to attract anything. Or do we then... Last bit.
January. I'm talking about before Jan. That's what I said. Between now and Jan, you've got to blood these kids. You've got to give some of these kids a chance.
But can I ask a question on that? And again, I think it's a really good conversation. By the way, I'm too drained with football to be combative tonight. I'm so drained. I've got to the stage, guys, where I watch Spurs now and I feel so beaten up by YouTube and the viewers and the comments that I literally jump off and switch off. I've turned all my comments off on YouTube and I just go into my own little zone. But listen, for me, Lube, I think the difficulty is this. One, we've got a fan base that aren't accepting of anything, right? If for example, Thomas Frank turned around and said, right, you know what, between now and January, right, you're going to see Archie Gray play in midfield. We're just going to keep playing and blood him. Odegaard's going to play every game on the left. Tell's going to play every game up front. We're just going to keep blooding these youngsters, all of them. Do you believe that the fans that rip this team apart, win, lose or draw at the moment, it doesn't matter what we do. We were getting ripped apart by most of the fan base. Yeah, and loads of YouTubers after beating Copenhagen 4-0. You would have thought, Lubo, that we lost the game, what I was listening to. So will the fan base accept that with the money they pay for tickets, with how much money we've got, with the brand new stadium that we were promised we were going to compete? Will they accept that in your mind?
Honestly, I don't give a shit whether they do or they don't. It's got nothing to do with them. They don't pick the team. If they don't want to go, they don't go. You know, they vote with their feet. But for me, I think Frank got out of jail with Richie because Richie scored today. Apart from that, he was absolutely shocking.
I don't think he intended to score. I don't even think he intended to.
He did.
I'm convinced that shot was going in regardless of Richie. I watched it back again. I'm fucking convinced that was going in.
It may well have been going in. It may well have been going
in. We'll talk about him in a bit, Lubo, because that was truly one of the worst centre-forward performances I think I've ever seen. He was... It looked like, I know this phrase always gets people. He looked like he was in the crowd and he'd won a competition to play for Spurs for the day. He was so bad today, like terrifyingly bad.
So for me, I thought Tell came on 79 minutes. I thought the turn and shot was superb. He'd only been on 5 minutes. He got into it straight away. Nice ball across. Udogie ball across. Not at last. You saw an accurate ball from Udogie into the middle, and I thought Tell took it. Yeah, absolutely. Tell took it. I thought superbly. Absolutely superbly. You know, if you'd have seen Kane score that, you'd have gone like terrific. You know, that's and I thought, that for me showed that Tell, and the goal at Leeds, that Tell's got something. Now, whether we can bring it out of him on a consistent basis, time will tell. But we've now seen a couple of flashes from Tell. So for me, maybe, just maybe, he might, you know, he might get on and have a decent career here. And then Odegaard for the second goal. I thought Odegaard was terrific though in the second half. I thought he made the difference with the runs. He was taking the fullback on at last, going outside the right back and killing him last 20 minutes. So for me, you may as well give, when I say kids, I'm not talking about put 5 or 6 in. I don't want people in the comments to think, I just want a whole team of kids. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we've had a problem on the left. Odegaard seems to be, last couple of games for me, I thought against Leeds in flashes, I thought he was very good. And he's becoming more consistent and you can see he's improving. So we haven't got anybody else. For me, you know, I thought maybe if you got Richie and Mawani, maybe he might play. You know, he picked the two of them today. He started off with Richie wide. Horrendous. He's tried Richie there, forget it. Johnson, forget it. He even moved Kudus over onto the left. He moved him into the centre 15 minutes later in one match. So we got a problem between now, at least until now and Jan. Give Odegaard a run. I think he's earned it. He deserves it. The last two performances you can see are getting better. You'd much rather have it. You'd much rather have a player going up slowly like that and improving than someone who does well and then falls off a cliff. You know.
Let me ask you, Lubo, like, the reason why I asked if the fans will accept it, and I know you're saying, okay, it doesn't matter, it's not their concern, but in a way it is, right? Because once the fans turn toxic on the internet, once they turn in the stands, I think they've got a right to be wanting to see better than these players. I know it's what we've got at the moment. Yeah. But I think they've got a right to be. Listen, I know everyone's like. I've seen the reactions there online for Odegaard, right? You would think he just put in a performance like what Gareth Bale did against Inter Milan. This is what we do, right? We go, yeah, Odegaard did well. To oh my god, he like that. That's what we do. Yeah. But I think the fans have a right to expect to see better. Like I'll be honest, I look around that 11 today, Lubo, and yes, Kulu's missing and Madison's missing and Solanke, if people like him, he's missing. But I look around that 11 today and other than Van der Ven, Romero, I'm not talking about how they played today, by the way. I'm just talking about in general. Other than Van der Ven, Romero, Paulinho, Simons, and Kudus, and maybe Udogie. Honestly, there's no one in that squad that if I woke up tomorrow and saw the news that they'd been transferred somewhere else, that I'd lose sleep over, Lubo. Like that. I know that sounds harsh, but there's no one there where you go, oh my God, this player is a top player.
Yeah. No, you have. You've got
every week. And
you got 5 or 6 very good players.
Yes.
And then there's a drop. And we haven't got enough good players in the squad. And that's the problem. And for us,
you're seeing performances there, then
that's
there,
right.
then there. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Where I think, and I've said all along, I know you'll argue with me, I think if he hadn't have been injured, I think Gray would have been given an opportunity because there's not that. I just want to see him be given 4 or 5 games on the spin. If he's not good enough, he's not good enough. But give him those games because Sarr, I'm sorry, hasn't impressed. Bentancur, his in-game management on 94 minutes was fucking disgusting today. Did you see that pass out of defence? We never got the ball back until we kicked off after United scored. All he had to do was hold it, look around, pick his ball. He tried to play a Hollywood ball out to the right. We lost it. We never got it back. And for me,
don't you agree though, Lubo? Let me ask you. Don't you agree though? Like I've been having this debate with fans for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Everyone's been telling me that Bentancur's the problem. Bentancur's the problem. He can't play. But I always think we play worse when Bentancur and Paulinho don't play together. But yet fans keep asking to see it. Like whenever, like when Sarr plays, like today, you immediately, and I ask the panel this, immediately for me, what I'm seeing is we don't have as much control because Sarr can't pass. So Sarr gets into great positions. He wants to drive, but he can't pass. Bentancur, yes, I know for the goal, but Bentancur on the main, while people might think he's boring, keeps the game ticking over. He'll keep the ball. He'll give it simply. Sarr can't. Bergvall as well. Bergvall can't. And this is my massive concern, Lubo, is everyone keeps asking for Frank to try these things.
The problem
then when he tries them, people get annoyed that he's tried it. Oh, he got it wrong. But people are asking for these things.
It works away from home because we're counter-attacking. I think that
works away from home.
Sorry, Paulinho and Bentancur is a double pivot. Works away from home. At home, we've got to be a bit more progressive. I think Frank is too cautious.
With who? Lubo, I've asked this question.
With the style of play, I think we're too cautious. I think we don't get around the low block because our build up is too slow.
Whereas, I agree, but I'm asking. I feel like I'm not getting. I feel like the question I'm asking though, it's all well and good saying with the system, but which player can Frank put in midfield that speeds up that play, that progresses the ball quickly and helps flow? Because I don't think that player exists in the Tottenham Hotspur squad.
That's why, and you may be right. That's why I'd like to see Gray given an opportunity. If it's not right, if he doesn't do it, he doesn't do it. But given the opportunity, Sarr doesn't do it, Bentancur doesn't do it. Bergvall, I think, will be very good. I think he's dipped a little bit form recently, but I think he will be. I think in time, I think there's terrific potential. These are kids; they're just developing. I mean, Bergvall's 20, Gray's 19, Odebear's 20, Tell's 20, 21. You know, we have a young side. You know, and unfortunately, you've got the 5 or 6 very good players. Then you've got, with established players, you've got to drop down to quite average, and then you've got kids. So it's really unbalanced. The whole thing's unbalanced. I agree on that. And this is the result of 10 years for me since that last really good window where Poch got Dele, Toby, and Sonny. Since then, we've bought a few decent players, but overall, when you look at the number of players we've bought in 10 years, the percentage of success has been really poor. Really poor. You know,
can I just say something just really quickly? Sorry, but by the way, see, when people say things like this, I feel like, I don't know if Dan and Benji get me. I feel people are missing the point when I'm talking about a passing midfielder. I'm not talking about, they attempted 25 passes in the game and 20 of them landed. I'm talking about, like, I just watched Wolves. Yao Gomez. Yeah, Yao Gomez is give me the ball. I want the ball. I'm in space. You know what? I'm going to tick everything over. I'm going to decide whether we speed it up. Dan, we talked about Locatelli, right? I'm going to decide whether or not I go sideways. I'm going to decide whether or not the team needs a breather and I hold on to it. I'm going to decide whether I go forward quickly. It's not about the success pass rate. And this is where people are confusing a passing midfielder with somebody who can pass a ball. Does that make sense? Is that like, I'm talking like an Angelo Stiller?
Well, look, right? to answer your original question, I mean, no one in the squad in midfield has the characteristics of what we're looking for. No. You've got Sarr, who's an engine. You've got Bentancur, who likes to anchor and sort of play sideways balls. You've got Paulinho, who's just a destroyer. You've got Bergvall, who likes to run with the ball, but never really makes anything of it. But yeah, we simply don't have that player in the squad, and hopefully January or maybe the summer, hopefully we manage to pick someone up. I mean, you know, I know Lubo, he's got a lot of faith in Bergvall, and so do I. I would like to think and hope that maybe Bergvall develops a bit more, and maybe we start to see that from him. Who knows? I mean, you couldn't tell me that definitely wouldn't happen. But as it stands, me personally, with Bergvall, I just think he doesn't know what type of player he wants to be just yet. And again, he's 19 years of age. But I wanted to go back very quickly, if it's okay, to your original question about Richarlison. Do you know, I no longer blame Richarlison. I think the blame has to go with Thomas Frank, because I want to put this to you, boys. You've got to question someone's level of intelligence when you are playing a player who's detrimental, not a bad player, someone who's causing your team problems in Richarlison. So the question I want to ask you, boys, is why is Frank still playing Richarlison? Because for me, you will never see Richarlison in the Tottenham Hotspur's t-shirt ever again. And you can say to me, well,
necessity though, Benji, like if we really think about it, up until now,
yeah,
he's been the only fit striker at Tottenham for the first 3 months of the season. Like,
yeah, I hear that. But what he's given,
you will be right if Mwani and Solanke and Richarlison are all fit. If all 3 of them buggers are fit, right, and Richarlison starts, now I'm saying, Thomas, what we doing here, mate?
But let me ask you the question, Sav. No, I'm with you 100%, but let me ask you the question.
Dane should be starting over bloody Richarlison.
I was gonna say,
Or Tell.
I would rather see, and you
Tell.
can say what you want. I would rather see Dane or even Johnson up front than Richarlison.
Oh,
I know
Johnson.
I know they're both.
Richie.
Neither of them are there. But listen, that's how much I dislike Richie. And looking at what he brings to the team, I would rather have anybody else because he's detrimental. He causes problems. You know, so at this point, anyone.
Do you know what I think would happen though? Right? Is listen, there must be a reason none of these managers have played Scarlet. Right? Let's just talk about Scarlet. I think what we're doing is I think people are forgetting that Scarlet actually isn't good enough, and we're pushing the problem from Richarlison not being good enough, which is true, and putting the hope then on a player that we know isn't good enough just because Richie's not good enough. Right now, first of all, I'm embarrassed that Spurs are in this position. Right, I'm embarrassed that we didn't buy a striker. I'm embarrassed that we didn't buy a midfielder. I'm embarrassed we didn't buy a left winger. Right, and when I called the transfer window negligent, I've been shot down a million times. For me, it was utter negligence. It was utter negligence because this is now what we're seeing now is what I said would. I'm not doing it, and I told you so thing. I said this is what's going to happen in the summer. Right, I said this would happen. I said before every game, we're all going to argue about who goes up front, who goes left wing, who plays centre mid, and ask yourself the question why, Benji, right? Let's go back to the midfield, right? Ask yourself this question. If I ask any Spurs fan, right? If I asked 1,000 Spurs fan, what's your best midfield? I'm going to get 5, 6, 7 different combinations from those 1,000 fans, right? You ask a Chelsea fan, what's the best midfield? They're telling you it's Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, right? You ask an Arsenal fan, it's Zubimendi and Rice. Right? You ask a Man City fan, yeah, it's Rodri when he's fit. If it's not, it's Reinders and Gonzalez, right? This is how you know that we don't have top players because everyone's got a different idea of who should play centre mid. Everyone's got a different idea of who should play left wing. Everyone's got a different idea of who should play up front. Why? Because we haven't bought what we need and we don't have standout players. No one right now, you ask any Spurs fan, right? You guys answer this for me right now. What's your back two when everyone's fit? What's your centre back pairing when everyone's fit?
Romero van der Ven.
Romero van der Ven, right? And I think none of us would argue that, would we? No one's going to turn around and go, you'd play him or you'd play him, right? Who's the best right winger at the club? Who starts when he's fit every week?
Yeah, Kudus.
Right, it's Kudus, right? So what? We're not having those conversations in those areas of the pitch because we've actually got quality players there. When you buy a lot of average footballers, this is the problem. Everyone's got a different idea of who should play with. I think the only thing that people would agree on is that Paulinho starts, right? Now, if I ask the panel who plays there, someone's going to say Bentancur, someone's going to say Bergvall, someone's going to say Sarr, someone's going to say Gray, because we have not bought well. And this is where I do agree with Lubo, and without getting him all angry and talking about Levy, this is where I do agree with what we're seeing now is we're seeing a mismatch squad because we've had years and years of poor transfer windows, right? But the fans don't want to take any of that into account. What we want to do immediately, right? What we want to do immediately is go, right, make everything amazing. And it's like, whoa, hang on. He's a coach. He's not a miracle worker. Yeah? He's not got the players. So like the way I watched Arsenal's midfield move the ball today, and I hate praising them, but they are bloody good. I'm watching Arsenal move the ball today, Chelsea move the ball. Guys, it makes me feel sick to say this, but the technical proficiency of these squads compared to ours is massive. I know everyone. So I'm not teaching anyone to suck eggs, but the levels are night and day. I watch Newcastle play, right? I'm watching Gordon. I'm watching Barnes. I'm watching even Murphy, and I'm going light years ahead of what we've got other than Kudos. And so for me, I think that he should be allowed to try things, but I think fans have got to be very careful because we keep asking him to do things. When he does them, then people get annoyed that he does them. And at the moment, I think he's trying to figure out, and I don't think he knows his best 11. And I'll end on this sentence. The reason he doesn't know his best 11, guys, is because none of us could tell you a best 11. None of us can tell you a best 11 because we've got weak areas of the pitch. This isn't like when we would rattle off Lloris, Walker, Vertonghen, Alderweireld and Rose, Wanyama, Dembele, Ali, Eriksson, Son, Kane. We knew it. That was the 11. Everyone else, wait your turn. Right now, he's going, oh, is it Odegaard? Is it Johnson? Is Mawani going to score goals? Is it Richie? Is it Tell? Is it... Sorry for the rant, but that's why I don't think that's why we're not a top 4 team. We're not a consistent team. Surely we all knew this going into the season. Surely there isn't really a big drama because we're one transfer window into a manager's tenure.
But Sav, do you expect these players to produce more than what they have done? No, I'm fully with you. The quality just isn't there. But I think a lot of the frustrations with the fans is, and myself included, despite our players not being top draw, and we're definitely not capable or ready for top 4 just yet, but do you not feel in some of the games we've watched so far this season that the players could have produced a bit better than what they have?
I don't think the players are that good, Benji.
No, fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
I would like to think you all know I have not changed my mind from anything I said in the summer. I don't think when I'm seeing people praise Bergvall, Sarr, Gray, Bentancur, Odegaard, Tell, Johnson, I'm seeing all these people going, oh, they're better than... I don't think these are good football. Now, Bergvall, Gray, they're kids, right? We can keep saying they're kids. But the problem is, when you look around the other clubs that will be wanting to chase for top 4, right, which is ideally where we want to be, right? They don't have this level of averageness. If that is that a word, averageness.
It works,
right? Benji. They don't have this level of averageness in their squad. Honestly, you look at Newcastle. I'm trying to not go to Liverpool.
No, yeah, I'm with you.
You look at Newcastle. What players are they bringing on like Richie? What players are they playing like Brennan Johnson? Right? They don't have that level of footballer. But why? Because Eddie Howe's been there now for what? 3.5 years? 4 years? Right? And what's he done? Slowly but surely, the deadwood has gone. And he's brought in his own players. And they've slowly but surely built this squad. Right?
And they're 14th.
Sure, right. And yeah, I know they're 14th, Lubo, but the thing is, right? But the thing is, you look, Eddie Howe's been there that long and they're 14th. We're sitting in the top 5, 6 and have been all season, and our fans are losing their mind. I think the point I'm trying to get at here is just a little bit of perspective of this takes time. And we talked about this, guys, backstream, didn't we? About Arteta. Sorry, I know it's not an Arsenal stream. I know, right? Murphy is not worse than Brennan Johnson in any way, shape or form. When I watched Murphy the other night, he terrorised his fullback. Oh, hang on. Sorry, let me get rid of this troll. Sorry, 1 second. I was just saying, quickly, right. When you look at Arteta, right, you're watching Arsenal now going, God, look, they're good. Right? What was Arteta like for 2 years there? What was the first 2.5 years under Arteta like? But the Arsenal fans hated him. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be that, but surely it's got to be a little bit of a lesson in patience. Sorry, Dan, God, I've talked a lot. Sorry.
Okay. No. Okay. I see where you're coming from. I'll make you right on what you first said, yeah? I mean, the problem is, when you look at that team, how we're playing, I think there's only 4 players you can name for a fact that get on there, basically. I mean, for me, Romero wouldn't be a first choice. I've said this enough times, but personal opinion. But you can argue with him, yeah? But let's say he would be. Romero, Van der Ven, Paulinho, and Kudus get straight into that team. And let's say Savva, yeah? The rest of it is all questionable. Because there's got to be questions. Because who else have we got as playmaker at the moment? It's about the only creativity we've got on that bloody pitch. Yeah. Again, until the last 2 games, he's been just as useless as Odegaard and Tell, as far as I'm concerned. But it's going to take him time to adapt. But Odebert's upped it past 2 games. Xavi's you've started to see he can do things. Today I felt sorry for him because like 2 or 3 times he looks over his shoulder like that. And if Romero's the best player at the club, he needs to turn up more than once every 5 games.
We're going to talk about Romero, Dan. Don't worry, a little bit later. We're going to talk about Romero because lots of pundits today have been calling him out as well.
But we're talking about this again. Go back to the same argument I'll bring up. Now, with what you said there, you're right. On a 4-2-3-1, if I now spin this formation to a 3-4-2-1, I bet you name that team 10 times easier and significant than you can with a 4-2-3-1.
I agree. My problem, Dan, is we could talk about formation all day long. I still think the quality of the players doesn't allow us to play the football that people want to see. Right now, you like, these are your words, right? Not mine. You like that Italian style. You like the transition and the counter-attacking style of football, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against that. But do you think if we did that, our fan base would be happy? Look how unhappy our fan base is with style.
Depends what way we do it, because people seem to think that 3 at the back, oh no, it's defensive straight away. No, defense at the back, 3 at the back can be some of the most attacking football you see, because you've got 3 covering you at the back, and even the centre can come forward and cover a DM role and come back on himself. There's so much you can do with it, and then when it comes and gets pushed on you, you can then bring yourself to 5 at the back when needs be, when in transition, whatever they want to call it, and everything else. It's not a negative way to play football. It's just I feel nothing at this football club has changed since Ange's been here, since Frank has got here. Nothing has changed, and in that aspect, okay, we've got better players who play positions we already had covered. We've got a better right winger. We've got a better centre mid.
Agreed.
Have we got a better striker? Questionable. Have we got a better player than Maddison as a playmaker? Time will tell. And with that, this is why nothing has changed for me. The team is still made for wing-backs. Porro is a crap defender. Okay, he's got better, but that's only because he was absolutely shit. Now he's just crap, or now he's just poor, whatever way you want me to say it. And with that, we've been sussed out already, and you can see it. Take Kudus out of the game. He wasn't in it today. Focus on Porro. Every game. Manu did it today as well. We've been sussed out again. So the manager now has to work a way out of this, or a way around it. One way or another, whatever manager comes in, if they decide to play Porro as a right back, and we haven't got someone who's willing to come across and cover him or come down and cover him from the top, he's a liability. And that's not his fault. Wing back, as he played at Sporting, and when he has played in other places, he's a very good player getting forward. Very good. But getting back is not his game. Udogie, another one. Go watch him out in Italy for the season. I followed him the whole season. He did not play as a left back. He played as a wing back.
Yeah.
He don't like defending. Okay, he's a better defender than Porro, but that's not bloody hard. Yeah? So we're now already in this situation. Something's got to change here, or we've got to get about 4 or 5 players in there. One way or another, we're going to need new players in. But with using a 4-2-3-1, we have not got the squad or a team to play a 4-2-3-1 and make it work significant. We have got a team there where a 3-4-2-1 works spot on. The only one you would have slightly out of sync is Kudus, and he can carry a cam roll easy. He's already proved that on himself, basically. And then you've got Xavi in the middle that takes out the problem of the crap left winger, won't have him anymore. Right. Kudus into the middle with Simons. Play both of them as a 10, one more target, one more playmaker. Both can drift out if they want. Right, you've now taken the problem of Kudus getting man-marked out of the game. You can't really man-mark out a fella in the middle there without leaving yourselves open. Right, problem with Porro down the right back. Play him as a midfield right or wing back, whatever you want to call it, and play with 3 at the back. They can't focus on Porro so much then because then he's got the cover behind him. My opinion will not change on this until I see the players we have to have the capability of playing a 4-2-3-1.
So are you talking about that, Dan? Are you talking about that?
Yes.
So you're talking about the 3-4-2-1.
And that team's a lot easier to pick than the 4-2-3-1, isn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Listen, I think the reason we've probably not seen a back three more this season is because we've had so many centre backs injured.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I think it's very difficult to play a back three when you've only got 3 fit centre halves. I know that's all you need, but the moment one of those centre halves gets injured, you're now scrapping around, aren't you, trying to fill in? But look, Dan, I agree with you from a different point of view there. And welcome, Stel. Welcome. I agree with you. When I said in the summer about the number of players signed, Dan, I think that you're bang on, because what we've essentially done is Kudus, if you want, replaces Kulu, who's played most of his football for Spurs on the right. Simons, if you like, replaces Maddison, right? Who's out for the season. So what you have essentially added to this squad is Paulinho. What you've actually essentially added to this football team is a DM. But we didn't actually strengthen, Dan. Like, we didn't actually go and buy depth and strengthen key areas of the football pitch. And I don't think until we do, and as I said, I think you can bring in whichever manager you want. People can scream for Glasner, right? They'll be frustrated with Glasner within 10 games. You know why? Because Glasner don't change his system. So they'll be frustrated at that. They'll be frustrated with Iriola. Why? Because Iriola famously himself has said managers need 6 months to settle in. So our fans won't have any of that. Our fans will not have 6 months of settling in. So I think until we buy quality, you could have Klopp, you could have Pep, you could have Dan, any manager you want to throw in there is going to come in and he's going to have this squad. And because of that, I think what he's actually done with these level of footballers, just so you know, there's only one team in the country, if I'm not wrong, there's only one team in the country, 2 teams in the country that have scored more goals than Tottenham Hotspur, which I think is absolutely breathtaking considering the absolute dross options we've got going forward. So I think
top scorer is a defender.
Yeah, sure, but that's my point, right? He's managing to get goals from here, there, and everywhere. I just think it's just a bit of patience. I think it's just a bit of patience. I think he acknowledges that we have not got the players to play more progressively. I don't think we have. Okay, we did it against Copenhagen, but for me, there's levels that you play against, right? There are levels of football teams that you play against.
Exactly. Today showed that we only played Copenhagen. And we played well. It was a good game, but it was only Copenhagen. And today showed that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you guys this. Look, I think today sums up what Dan has said for ages about Spurs. I thought there were some shitty bits. I thought there were some good bits. I thought there were some indifferent bits. Where I think the quality matters, and I'll bring Stell in here, just as he stuffs his face with something. Where I think the quality matters is, so a lot of times where Spurs were getting into dangerous areas, but it's just that final ball. Crosses from Udogie, crosses from Johnson, crosses from Porro. Those little final balls that are over here. Spence is very poor at it. Still, for me, that's a quality issue. I can see that we're getting into some areas. I just don't think we've got the quality to quite execute what he would have when he was at Brentford with Damsgaard, Visser, and Buemo, etc. Is that fair? Is that any merit to that?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Good evening, everyone, by the way. Hello, good to see everyone. Dan.
Good evening. Good evening.
Benji, Lubo. Oh, sorry. Good evening, Savva. Everyone in the chat. But a long day. I was up early. I had family bits to do. Then I went to the game, early kickoff. Then met up with loads of fans, friends I haven't seen in ages. And I drove up to Shoreditch, had a 50th birthday, just got back. I'm just tired, to be honest with you. I actually don't want to go to Spurs games anymore at home. I don't want to go. I go because I paid for my tickets, and I feel like if I don't go out, that is the worst troll I've ever seen in the chat. Do you know what? Do you know the game kicks off and the atmosphere is good, all right? The atmosphere is good. Fans are behind the team. They're singing. You've got the whole Remembrance Day introduction. Then you've got the Spurs song before kickoff with the trumpet man, and you think, yeah, okay, let's go. You start off well. We're on the, we're giving it a go. But before all that, there's already moans and groans because people in the terraces, you can hear them moaning in the concourses about the starting lineup. So fans are divided about the starting lineup. Then as the game goes on, we're a lot of huff and puff with no ability really of blowing the house down, but partly because, yes, there's no quality. The quality is abysmal. It's absolutely shocking. But I don't think Frank's doing himself any favours with regards to that as well. I don't think he's getting the best out of what we do have. Partly because of the way we set up, partly because of certain decisions he makes with players that play. And then we go 1-0 down, and we're meant to be a good defensive team now. And Buemo's just unmarked. It's just a free header. That's not what Frank's strength is.
Still, sorry, just quickly. When you say he's not getting the best out of what he's got, we're the third top scorers in the league with what he's got, the third best defence in the league with what he's got, the best away record in the league with what he's got. No one scored more than 2 goals against us at all. We've had 8 clean sheets from 17 games. When you're saying he's not got the best out of what he's got, surely that is getting the best out of what he's got, right?
We are the second worst team in the country for taking shots. We are the worst team at home in the league. So I could counter those stats as well. For me, I don't 100% blame him because, like I've said, there's a serious lack of quality at this club.
But blame him for what?
Okay.
Sorry, so I'm going to push back on this because I keep seeing YouTubers like you and others constantly making videos about. I don't blame him. Blame him for what? What's so bad?
I've been saying for 6 weeks, and I repeat it every week on every show I go on. Stick with one left winger and just coach them into the role. And then after 8-9 games, we can judge whether that player is completely useless or whether they were coachable. And he keeps chopping and changing, and it doesn't work. I said from about, on the Spurs 5 early doors when we did the show, I said, just stick with Odegaard. He's probably the best of a crap bunch out of Tell, Richie, Johnson. He's probably the best out of a crap bunch. Just stick with him and let's see what we go. And he keeps chopping and changing. For me, that's on him. I put that on him. I don't think we set up in games to try and attack more freely. I feel that we set up in games at home to try and stop the opposition, try not to lose. I kind of get why he does it, by the way. But at the same time, if you're not winning games at home, and season ticket holders pay for the home games, they don't pay for the away games. That's an extra. That's a bonus. Same with cup games. Fans have committed to the home games, the season ticket holders. And when it's a tough watch every single week, you think, do you know what? Why am I even turning up? Again, I don't fully blame him for that because
when will we ask the
squad to play entertaining football every week? But I don't believe he sets us up in a way that truly can get a bit more out of us in terms of on the eye to enjoy it and for the attack to be a bit more fluid. Will the attackers score more if he does that? I don't know until he tries it, so then we can see. But he doesn't try it, and that's what I mean by he's not getting the most out of it.
I don't get it, but try what? Like I keep asking this question of people. Like everyone's blamed Bentancur and Paulinho. That midfield don't work. Well, in the last 4 or 5 games, you've seen Bergvall start there, looked absolutely shit. Nothing changed. You've seen Sarr start there today, looked absolutely shit. Like everyone keeps saying that they want to be this more attacking, progressive team. We have not got the footballers for it. This is what I don't know. You've got Brennan Johnson, who's the least technical footballer I've ever seen.
Yeah, but he keeps playing him left wing. Yeah, but Savva, he keeps playing him left wing when he's not a left winger. He's not good at it. Brennan Johnson as a left winger is shocking.
Hang on. The last 3-4 games when he's been playing on the right. He's not been playing on the left.
Sorry, as a winger, he's not a winger. He shouldn't be on the wings. He's not a winger. He's absolutely atrocious. He can't
So where does he play?
I've said it 1,000 times. If you're going to play him, either he sits on the bench or he plays in a forward front two as one of the forwards behind the main striker, like he did at Nottingham Forest, because that's what he did at Nottingham Forest. But what we do is, that doesn't mean, by the way, Brennan Johnson's going to become Harry Kane, but that is his best position. But we play him in a position where he's just rubbish. Likewise, we can't attack with fullbacks unless either Udogie's playing or we go to a back three. So if you're going to go to a back four and not play Udogie, then you just killed the fullbacks, because there was a moment in the game where Xavi Simons, he got the ball, he's driving at them in the first half. He's got 3 Man United players around him. He's going forward. He's looking left. He's looking right. There's nothing there because the fullbacks aren't pushing up. But that's by design. They're not pushing up because we haven't got fullbacks on the pitch that are set up to make those runs, because we're dependent on the wingers to do it. It's little things. But just to be clear, I'm not on the Frank out train. I've never once said it. I said he gets until the summer for us to sign some more quality players so we can really judge him, because no one can judge Frank on this season. I don't think anyone can. But it slowly, week by week, it just seems like if we play a really bang average team like Burnley or Copenhagen, we'll score plenty of goals, keep clean sheets, everyone's yay. But as soon as we're up against a team that's average or above in the league, at home, we look very, very average, man. And I think there's more to us than that.
I think we are very, very average still. This is a team. I feel like we've got to bring some...
I don't think we are average.
But still, when you look at the last 18 months of this football club for this season, everything tells you we are average. Everything. The number of defeats, the number of goals conceded.
Yeah, but the manager got to blame for that, though, Savva. We all blame the manager for that.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Yes, but that doesn't mean suddenly the new manager can come in and we're suddenly a really good free-flowing team. I don't think we've got the players for this, and no one can seem to tell me what would your midfield be? What's your midfield to make us more progressive?
I would play with fullbacks that push up high, and I would go to a back three. Well,
that's not what I asked.
But the reason I'm saying that is because I would play with 2 holding mids, because when the fullbacks push up, then you've got 2 attacking mids and 1 striker. You don't need to have more than 1 player in the middle that is more attacking. I would go, for me, I'd have 3-2-2, fullbacks overlapping and 1 up top, because this squad currently, that is the best we're going to get out of the players we've got.
I agree.
If we had different players, then Frank could do 4-4-2, 4-5-1, 4-3-3. He's got different options. But it was a bit like Conte. Conte said, no, I'm doing 3-5-2. That's my style. That's my system. I'm not changing it. Fine. But you haven't got the players for 3-5-2, Conte. We never had the players for it. Now we do. Now we've got a 3-5-2 players.
Still, nothing has changed over 2 bloody years, has it? It's exactly what I said 2 years ago. Nothing has changed with the style of players we got.
But we've got
with the style of players we got. No, what I'm saying is,
for me,
I'm agreeing with you.
Look, our strength is we've got quite a few half-decent centre-backs. I think we've got 2 very good centre-backs. We've got 3 full-backs who are all fit. And we've got 2 or 3 players that can play in that holding mid-role. So build the attack around that as your base, and then let the attack have more freedom to be higher up the pitch. Because if we do lose possession, we've got enough there at the back to deal with it. We don't have just 2 players on the halfway line like Ange did, which was suicide. Ange was suicide defending.
Surely you've got to acknowledge, though, that you can't go to 3 at the back when all of your centre backs, other than 2 of them, have been out injured all season. How do you? Surely you acknowledge that.
I would play Jed Spence as one of those centre backs in some of the games, because he did it under Ange and he was actually quite good at it. He wasn't too bad as one, not in the middle. He's got to be on the side. Again, look,
Yeah.
I'm not here to knock Frank. I haven't come on to bash Frank and Frank.
No,
Frank,
you're
none of
allowed
that.
to bash Frank. You're
No.
allowed to bash Frank.
I'm not here to bash him because he gets a year. But on Thursday when we did our show, we all did our predictions. Everyone predicted a Spurs win. I said we're going to draw. I said we're not going to win because what happened was people got caught up in the euphoria of Copenhagen, and I got cooked. They even did a clip of me. Still gets cooked because I said Mawani is bang average in front of goal. Good player, good touch, good movement, good setup play, good link-up play. But in front of goal, I haven't seen anything yet from him. And for me, Copenhagen is a very, very mediocre team. They're not doing well in their league. They're not doing well in Champions League. We've all gaslit the team because we did well against them. Man United would be a different proposition. We're not going to win, but I don't think we'll lose to them because Man United aren't good on the road. This year, Man United have been poor on the road. But we've been poor at home, so I said it's just going to be a draw.
Yeah.
And I think a draw was a fair result. I think. By the way, I will say I did want to say two things. I don't want to just come here and this, that. The tackle Van der Ven put on Sesko when Sesko, that was absolutely top draw defending. If that was Saliba or if that was any top defender in the world, everyone would be saying, "Oh, what that was." Top draw defending by Van der Ven. And the other thing I wanted to give praise to, I thought today that as much as he's got a lot to show, and he is by nowhere near the levels of Mohamed Kudus, who is the benchmark of winger we need. But Odegaard today came on, he beat the man, and for the first time, there was an end product. Good deliveries into the box, good crosses into the box. And that shot that he curled, listen, Richarlison robbed him. That was curling in, right? Richie's a naughty boy. He stole that one. I actually wanted to praise Odegaard today because, I am one of the fans that said, look, he's not good enough for Tottenham. He shouldn't be at this club. But I have also been saying, can we give him a chance on the left to see if there's something there? Listen, he came on today. It might be a one-off. He might never do it again. But today, Odegaard, hats off to him, man. He did the business for us. I
thought he was respectable.
Fellas, is there a little bit of love for Tell as well? Just a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a hell of a turn.
Another deflected goal, man. I can't. I mean, listen.
Sorry, still. Sorry.
Go look at the shot. The turn was good. Go look at the shot. It's straight at the keeper.
Yeah,
straight at the goalie, and it comes off someone's toe. Same thing against Leeds. It's going straight at the goalie, and it goes top bins deflection. So,
I mean, with what you said, still, I'm with you.
Just my opinion, guys. You're allowed to praise Tell. I just think.
I'll make you right on everything you've said. I still believe nothing has changed at the club. We're playing the wrong bloody formation. But I get what others are saying. We ain't got the full centre backs, but we have got the capability to mess about with it. Because if we're willing to mess about in other positions, I can't see why Spence, Romero, Van der Ven won't work for a couple of games.
It comes down to availability. If you want Porro, Udogie, and Spence all in the team at once, right? That then means you've got no fullbacks and no centre backs on the bench, right? This is what I'm saying. To be able to play that, you've got to have the depth to do it. This is why I think when Dragoshin is back fit, and Takai or Davis, whoever, I think then it allows him to be a bit more flexible and say, well, you know what, I can go to three at the back today because if Romero gets injured or Van der Ven gets injured, then I've got Davis who can slot in. Or
we are meant to be looking at centre backs as well, aren't we? There is we're looking at the German one at Inter Milan. What's his bloody name? Seen him play plenty of time.
Can I ask you a question?
We're meant to be having a look at him for about 30 mil. He's one we're meant to be onto, and there's a couple of other centre backs. Maybe he is just actually waiting till the players come back so he can actually use this team.
I think he will.
To his potential.
I truly think he will. Look, I think the key thing is, and I said this on a show the other night, I think people confuse, he's a coach, but it doesn't mean he's going to change the tactics every week. Like this season, we've seen him play 4-2-3-1. We've seen him play 4-3-3. We've seen him play wing backs against PSG. I think if he hadn't had all these injuries, you would have seen a few more times we might have gone to the free. But up until recently, we've only had two centre backs fit. You think against Doncaster, he had to put Paulinho in at centre half because we didn't have. But I know it's mad when you think about it. We've got like 6 centre halves at the club, and he's only had 2. So I think once they get fit, by the way, I think Dragoshin will be good in that formation as well. I think once he gets a few more players back fit, I think it opens up options of tactical switches to him. I just think at the moment, if you were a manager and you would say to yourself, right, I'm going to play Danso, Van der Ven and Romero, and then if one of them gets injured, I've either got to bring in Rousewell, who's never played for the first team, or I've got to switch back to a 4. So I think that he will. I think people just need a bit of patience on that front. And I think we'll probably see that at somewhere like PSG. If I'm honest.
I know what's
I
really
do agree
tough,
with
Sav.
that. I just want to say one thing quick. I just want to agree with Stel on the other thing. I think we should just be, if we're going to do a 4-2-3-1, then just stick with Odegaard out on the left.
Sure.
I'm agreeing with you on that bit as well. I mean, if he goes and puts Richarlison on that pitch again, when he doesn't, when there is another option there, I'm going to question this manager's ability. Simple as that. I think he was that bad today. He should never touch foot on that pitch again unless we are literally got 30 injuries or something. He was that bad. If there is another option there, don't go for it again.
No, but he will start because he's scored.
I agree. And I've got to say, still, I've got to tell you, we gave United 2 goals. You agree?
On a plate.
We gave them 2 goals. Apart from that, they did nothing. Nothing at all. Vicario didn't make a save the whole game. It's a bit like Brighton. We gave them 2 goals and we dominated the rest of the game. So
like
we didn't dominate the game, mate. You're in La La Land. We did not dominate the game.
I thought we were by far the better team. By far the better team. Look at the shots and chances we created. What did United create? Nothing. Seriously.
He's got a point. On paper, we did double their shots on target.
For all their lovely little moves in midfield, got to the edge of the box. Sorry, Lubo, mate, absolutely nothing.
Lubo, I thought it was a pretty even game. I thought Spurs were the better team on the day. Yeah. I don't think we dominated them.
No, we were the better team.
And just for the record, because, if you're going to lay down some facts, I'll lay some down as well. We only got our goals once they went down to 10 men and Tesco got taken off. By the way, they were calling him Tesco because, by the way, he didn't look very good today.
Didn't have a shot until the second half on target.
Benjamin Sesko, he went off injured and they didn't have any more players to bring on.
It was 1-1 at the time still. I think it was 1-1.
No, he went off in the 79th minute. It was after Van der Ven put that tackle on him. He got injured from that tackle. And then we got back into the game because they went down to 10 men. So I could say that as well. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, I just thought today would be a draw anyway. So I'm not angry or upset by it because I knew we were going to draw. I never thought for a second we're going to beat Man United. But it's just upsetting for fans because we were 30 seconds away from winning it. And we did what we always do and we just got Spursy. And it is what it is,
But the funny thing about this is like when people say things like, I'm not blaming Frank, but we were 30 seconds away from being second in the league table going into the international break. And that's the crazy thing. But by the way, I don't think the quality in this league is great, but that's a different story. Guys, I want to talk about a few individual players. I'm going to start off with a controversial one to start with. We'll do some good and some bad and some good and some bad. I want to talk about Romero because in the main, I think Romero's been much better this season, much more consistent. But what I saw today was truly worrying for me, truly worrying. I thought he was absolutely atrocious from start to finish. His passing, he was back to being rash, running out into the midfield to clatter people for no reason at all. Players getting the wrong side of him, he just lost them for fun. Lucky probably not to get another yellow card, the amount he was going around fouling. And the most criminal thing he did today was when he lost that ball in midfield. You've all seen it, right? He just stood there. Man United attacked and Romero stopped. And he stood there and he did not track back to help out the defence. And I'm sure, I don't know, have any of you seen what Stuart Pearce said about Romero today? Would you like to know what Stuart Pearce said about Romero?
He tore him to pieces.
Here you go. He ripped him a new one. Ready? This is what Stuart Pearce said about Romero. He said, if I was a chief scout sent to watch Romero, I would identify him as a weakness. You can certainly get in behind him. And if I was sent on behalf of recruitment, I would say, leave him where he is. It's horrific what Romero is doing at the moment. He gives the ball away in midfield and doesn't even make a recovery run. As a defender, that should be ingrained in you. He's pushing up to defend into midfield, getting completely bypassed, and he's just jogging back, making no effort. I know I keep going on about it, but it really is unbelievable from the captain of his team.
Hits the nail on the head, really, doesn't it? I mean, you say people are saying he's having much better since he's been under Frank, is he? Okay, I came to an agreement earlier that it's not 60-40, I will say.
He's been one of our best players.
Come on, let's go. Bollocks.
I think Van der Ven
he's been one of our best. Sorry, he's been one of our best 3 or 4 players this season. Sorry,
not consistently, not at all. Okay, let's go through the game. No, come on, get the games out now and we'll go through it. I bet you can name that he's had a couple more good ones, but he's had just as many bad.
Dan, before you
I'd say
go at
60-40.
Before you two go at it, I'm going to turn off my mic so you two can have it out. Romero this season, when he starts games, our win rate goes up, or we don't lose nowhere near the level of games when he plays, and he is a difference maker in the result on the day. There's no all the data shows if Romero plays. Right, so I just wanted to put that there before the slander on Romero comes. Today he was shit. Today he was shit, but I don't think that's a way to judge him this season.
But I'm not saying he's a total shit player.
Still,
right. I bet you we go through these games, and I bet you your name, a majority was good, but your name pretty much on a 60-40 ratio, I'd say, where he's been pretty bad as well. There's no in between with Romero. He's either
he had a very poor,
but that is a massive improvement on previous seasons.
First half.
For this world-class player,
fine. Second half, where he went flying in.
No, he was not
flying into. He's doing that thing. Lubo, he was doing that thing again where he sees the ball. Yeah, I always liken it to this. This is my one thing with Romero, right?
He's inconsistent.
Right? This is my one thing with him. Is like when you're in the playground or when you watch whoever's coach, if you watch like an under-7s game, an under-6 games, right? And all of the kids just follow the ball, right? Like before they've got tactical awareness and they see a ball and they follow it, right? Romero does that. And he was back to doing that today where the ball's in midfield and you're thinking, it's not near you, Christian. Just don't worry. You don't need to engage. And he goes steaming in, bang, clatters someone, yellow card for no reason, right? That puts him then for the rest of the game on a tightrope, right? But the thing for me with Romero more than anything today, right, is he didn't look bothered. He just didn't look bothered. He didn't track back like that. That's criminal. Pearce is right on that, right? You cannot lose the ball in midfield as a centre back and then not jog back and then jog back. You've got to bust a gut. And I'll give you an example. I was watching really closely tonight. I was watching the Sunderland-Arsenal game. And Sunderland have got a centre-half called Ballard. I'm sure you guys have seen him this season. Massive, massive unit of a man.
He scored today, didn't he?
He did score today, and he assisted. Yeah, he scored a great goal. That bloke was like, it was like he would die for the cause. Throwing his body in front of everything, tracking back, running, like sprinting to everything. And you look back to our game, and I'm just seeing, like what Stuart Pearce said, Romero, the players were just going past. It was like he wasn't there. It was like he wasn't there. Players were just going past him for fun. He's giving the ball away. And this is the thing, I think, with Romero. I think Romero, on his day, is class. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
On his day, he is class. When those passes work and he moves the ball quickly and class. Mm-hmm. But his performances like today are the reason why I've never, ever, ever thought he was world class. Because there are too many of these in a season where you watch him and go, is it because Argentina are playing this week? Or why are you not bothered? Like, how can do you all know the moment I'm on about when he didn't track back? Have you all seen
Yes.
I didn't see him. I didn't
Where
see
it
it.
literally went past him and he looks over his shoulder and didn't even jog after the ball.
He lost the ball,
Walked.
Lugo. He turns like that, sees his team's getting overrun. Two of the midfielders actually run past him to bust the gut to get back and defend, and Romero didn't track back. And I'm thinking, you're the captain. You're the captain. You should. I was just frustrated by him today.
Fellas, ever
There's
so quickly,
been
and I've got down 2
Go on.
seconds, mate. I've got so
Just
much
go
to
on.
say, but I've got a bit of a problem. I've got to run my son to hospital again. He put on some cleansing cream on his face and he's had a horrendous reaction to it. I've got no sympathy for him. I told him not to do it in the first place, but he's an idiot. What do you want? Teenager, madness. But I'm going to have to rush him back to hospital. I did it earlier and fellas, I'm really sorry. I had so much to say as well. I will catch up with you soon. This will not happen again. I'm so sorry, fellas. Take care.
See you,
Good luck, mate.
I think a few people miss the point I make with Romero. I've never said there is not quality there. I've never said that he does not produce world-class games. But Ian, bring up the list of games, and I bet you I'll lay a bet on it. It's round about a 60-40 ratio. Okay, he'll have had more good games than bad games, but I guarantee you it ain't just okay. Let's look at Van der Ven and Romero. Who's been the quality player? Who's been the consistent defender?
Van der Ven.
This season, Van der Ven's edged it.
Right, but I thought Romero's one of our best players as well, so he must have been playing close to the same standards as Van der Ven with the same ratio.
And you know, listen, every player has a bad game, and every player has a bad game. Mickey has a bad game against Chelsea. I think he's edged it with Romero.
Do you really think Romero has played to the same extent as Van der Ven and the same consistency?
I said Van der Ven edged it. Van der Ven has edged it. But you know, Dan, you know, I heard you the other day, Sav. Someone was talking about Spurs in defence, and you said we've let in 8 goals in 10 games. Now, Romero's a lot to do with that. You can't turn around and say Romero's been like 4 out of 10. He's been crap.
I didn't say that every game, but I bet you we can name at least 4 games where he's been a 5 or under. Go through.
No, I don't think so. I think today I would say was one. I can't remember too many other bad games he's had, to be honest. I think there was a 45 minutes at home in one of the other games. I can't remember which one it was. I think against Bournemouth they were all shit, the whole lot of them. That was absolutely appalling. I think against Wolves most of them were horrendous. They were probably the 2 worst performances this season. In the league. Apart from that,
would you say he is a consistent centre back to be called world class? Do you think he is as good as people make out?
No. I never said he's world class, Dan. I think he's a level down. He's a level down.
Fair enough. I think on his day, he's great, but he just doesn't have enough good days. I think with the example I'll give you quick, Ian, and I'll put it on this. Again, I know a lot of people disagree, but right. Let's say 2 players, you get a rating 1 out of 10 every game, yeah? Put Danzo, Romero next to each other, and they play 38 games a season. Right. The end of the season of the 38 games is your points ratio per game. I bet you Danzo has a better season than Romero.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
What do you 2 think on that? Why? Because Romero, you will see a 10, an 8, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 10, a 1, a 9, a 6, a 2. With Danzo, you'll see a 7 basically all the way through it, bar an odd game. You add them all up together, Romero is too inconsistent.
Hang on, guys, by the way, my point in this conversation wasn't to dig Romero out. I was just really concerned that our captain didn't want to track back.
What pissed me off, Sav, was his head went today. And he's captain. And we went 1-0 down. He's got himself booked for that ridiculous challenge. That was a shocking challenge. And he could have gone off later in the game. He was very lucky he got away with one. And there was another situation where he went piling into midfield, and they just went round him like he wasn't there. And for me, as captain, you've got to keep calm. You know, if you're 1-0 down, you've got to keep pushing, keep bringing the team together, keep driving the team on. And he lost his head today. For me, today was his worst game of the season. That was his worst game of the season for me.
My question with him today was, why didn't he track back? Like,
I don't know.
That's a worry for me, that he's got that mentality that, and this is what I think Pierce was saying, as captain, as a defender, you lose the ball, your first thought is to, I've got to get back and rectify it. And he stood there and I was just looking, going, I don't get it. That's the only thing I didn't get it. I think he's been good this season. I don't go all out. I think he's been good this season. I just didn't understand what he was doing, guys. I don't understand what part of the captain didn't do it.
No, today was poor. I think you saw the difference when Romero came on in the second half last week against Chelsea. You saw what difference that made between having him there and having Danso there, and you could see the difference in class. Danso had a super game against Everton. Was it Newcastle? I think he played against Newcastle. I think he was that good. I just he's okay. He's okay for cover, but he's nowhere near Romero's level. Which
I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying he'd be more consistent and you'd see more consistent games out. I think you're missing my point here. I'm not saying he's as good. I'm saying over a season, you will see a consistent 7 out of him. Whereas Romero, are you actually confident of what Romero is ever going to come on the pitch?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not. I don't know. I don't ever know what Romero's going to turn up unless it's a bloody final or something like that. He always turns up for a big game. That's the proper jar with him. But when it seems to come to a smaller game or a game where he can't be bothered,
it's funny.
He don't even bother.
You know, funny that not turning up in the massive games is what everyone seems to throw at Harry Kane. And with Romero, every big
it's
game,
the opposite. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it so many times since he's been at Spurs. He's been no different, basically. I think he gets bang overrated. I just don't think he's consistent. I think when you've got a player that you know, game in, game out, he's going to give everything he's got. He ain't going to mess about whatever. He's going to get the job done. You're going to get pretty much a 7 out of him game by game. You just don't know what you're going to get off Romero. You could have a 10. You could have another 10. And then you'll get 2 performances like a 3 and a bloody 2. He is that bad and inconsistent in that aspect. And then at other times, he's that bloody good. This is why he pisses me off so much.
But Dan, how much better are we in defence when he's there? Seriously, you know, I just think it looks completely different. And listen, Danso is a good cover. He's a good cover player. I'm sure
Danso's all right. Lubo, Danso's all right. He's not. Danso's okay. I don't think he's anything.
Yeah,
I don't think he's special, but he's consistent.
But he's
a good squad player, Danso. Danso's a very good player to have in your squad. He'll come in, do the job. I'll tell you, the only thing that he's better than Romero at for me, massively, is in the air. In the air, Danso is a beast. But I agree. The passing aspect of Romero's game is good, but when it's good. When it's not, he puts us into a lot of trouble. But listen, I'm not saying, by the way, just for the people in the chat, when we talk about a player, it doesn't mean I've not blamed anything on Romero. I've not said, oh my God, we didn't win because of Christian Romero. I'm just bringing it up because Stuart Pearce made the statement, and I wonder what people thought.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what's frustrating, though? We often put, like, the heat that Richarlison gets is 100% deserved. Like, he's an abomination of a football player, right? It's just, you watch him and you just feel ill. You feel like you've got a disease watching him play. It's that sickening. But if you haven't guessed, I don't like Richarlison people. I
thought you loved him.
When Romero, yeah, he's great. When Romero has a bad game, commentators in the media want to say Romero. Let's talk about how bloody bad Brennan fucking Johnson was today. That he couldn't be bothered to make a run up the wing when Xavi Simons is crying out for someone on the outside to release the ball to, and Brennan was walking, and the crowd were going mad at Brennan. That's about Porro today. Another average performance from Pedro Porro. But the media, let's talk about Romero. I could have picked 3 or 4 players today that would have said, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? But For some reason, Romero's the guy. Romero's the guy they always want to point the finger at.
Because he's meant to be the world-class player.
I am going to talk about other players as well, by the way. This wasn't just Romero. I'm going to bring
most of the Spurs supporters.
Yeah, but Savva, the media, the commentators, you said Stuart Pearce picked on Romero. Did they pick on any other players and dig them out, or was it just Romero today?
Who's who?
I've got no idea. I'm guessing Danzo Romero.
Van de Ven.
Who's
No,
that
this is Danzo and Romero. Who's who?
Well, Danzo's going to be better in the air, so Danzo's the blue.
Yeah.
Danzo blue. I just thought it was interesting. That's all.
Look at the possession one.
No more, no less.
So right.
No
so
more, no
out
less.
of that, who would you say is the better player, or
Romero
has been playing
all day
better?
long. Romero all day long.
Question.
By the way, I wasn't saying it. I just thought that was
Dan,
interesting.
Dan, let me ask you this question. We get to the FA Cup final this year, and we're playing. Let's pick a team. We're playing Man United in the cup final. Who do you want as your centre back?
Romero.
I've already answered those questions. Still.
Well, there you go. Why? Because he's the better player. He's the better player.
Yeah, on his day, but he's not consistent. He's inconsistent.
But so is Danzo. Danzo was awful a couple of games ago. Awful against Chelsea. Danzo was an absolute
I think overall
joke.
the game, yes. So was everyone. I think all the games he's played.
When Romero came off,
has been a more consistent player than Romero. Again, Romero, you just never know who's going to turn up.
But see, you're talking about each respective level, because Romero's level is much higher than Danzo's.
And it's also much lower than most people's when he plays crap as well.
That's the point Dan's making, right? I think a lot of people in the chat are mishearing Dan as well. Dan is not saying that Danso, tell me if I'm wrong, Dan. Dan has never said that Danso is a better player than Romero.
No, he's not.
What Dan is saying is, if you had Danso in a team, you kind of know what you're going to get every week at this level, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying with Romero is he either plays bang up there or a game like today. Is that what you're saying, Dan?
Yes.
Right,
and in that aspect, that is why I say over a season. That's why I say over a season, you add him up. And the thing that's annoying still, and I said this as well, he always turns up for a massive game. He always has done. And then there's other games, a lot of other games where you sit there and you think, well, you can't even be bothered. He is not consistent as a player.
Okay, but then the manager, whoever the manager is, Conte, Mourinho, Ange, Nuno, Frank, whoever it is, if he's having a bad game, hook him. You're off. You're not playing well. Come off. Danzo, you're on. Or whoever else is fit, you're on. But what they do is they keep him on the pitch, watching him get bad.
Would you say he's a consistently good player?
Yes.
By what he's rated as?
I think he's consistently good when we play the right way and not on the halfway line. But he will have a game every once in a while where it's just a stinker. And that's the job of any manager.
More than once in a while. I get that, but I think it's more than once in a while.
When a player's not playing well, you got to pull him off. That's the whole point of having a bench. Like, you're not playing well. I've got to change it. The only reason he came off today, though, was because he got injured.
Yeah, but I think it's more than now and again that he has a bad game and he does not live up to his standards.
Okay, before today's game, Dan, when was his last bad game before today?
Bring up the games.
You got to think about it. It's not consistent.
No, because I can't even remember.
Ask me when Richie's last bad game was.
Cool, it was the last one.
Ask me when the bad game was.
Bring up the games and rate him. Bring up the games he's played and rate him. Because I do remember at the start of the season, there was a couple of good games and there was a couple of games where people said, oh, he's looking good as a captain. Then a few games people say, oh, what? He's meant to be doing good as a captain. And then it changes again to that he's world class. And then all of a sudden he has a game like today. What I'm trying to say is that he's so inconsistent.
No, what you're trying to say is Spurs fans are delusional. That's what you're trying to say.
That's all I see is people calling him world class. I see people calling him world claess.
Name the games he was bad in. So today
let me bring up the games. Bring them up. Bring up the games.
Guys. I just wanted to talk about Romero for like 5 minutes. I didn't want it to be like a half-hour segment. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to the next player. I'm going to start with Danny, who it looks very cool in his shades. Danny, Xavi Simons, are we starting to see over the last 2-3 games that he's just starting to grow into them and he's getting more confident and he's getting on the ball and trying to make things tick?
I think so, yeah. I think what I've seen with Xavi Simons, even in the last, I'd say last 2 games, just particularly, you can see that he's trying to show more. He's trying to get on the ball more. Even today, he looked stronger as well. Like, he actually looked stronger against some of the players. Like, he was out muscling some players at times. There was one point he out muscled Cunha on the ball. And you can see he wants to be on the ball and he wants to dictate play. And today was a real sign with him wanting to get forward, because the guy is always looking forward. It's very rare he turns backwards. And the only reason he turns backwards is when there's no one around him to run off, or there's no one to lay off the ball to. And I saw that so many times today, which is the most frustrating thing. And I think, I was saying it on Dan's show earlier, I think when you've got a class player like him and Kudus in the team, and you look in front of you and you've got Arlison, right? And you've got like Brenda Johnson, right? It's like, it honestly is like how they look at them and they're like, are you fucking serious? Like, are fucking serious that I'm playing with this shit? Sorry for my language, but it's true that they are playing with crap, right? That is the truth. Now, it's like people keep talking about this drop off in the levels. Well, and the reason why we're not inconsistent or we're not playing as good as we could be. Well, that's obvious, because when you've got Xavi Simons and Kudus and Paulinho, who are like up there, and then you've got Brenda Johnson, Richarlison, like how it's frustrating as a Spurs fan to have to watch players like Xavi, who I think once you get better players around him, Sav, I think he's going to go to a whole new level. And he's already starting to, I think he's starting to dictate it a bit more, and he's getting more into the Premier League, the pace of the game. He looks like he's getting fitter. So I think there's more and more to come from him. And I'm like what I'm seeing.
Do you know what, Danny? Just quickly before Lubo comes in, what's funny? During the game, my uncle messaged me and he said, near enough that, but like a lot shorter. And it was just basically said, he said, I feel sorry for Simons. He said, you can see that he's the one on the pitch with the technical ability.
Yeah.
And he said, now imagine that he's got Kulu and Maddison in the same 11 as him and Kudus. Yep. Now imagine that he's giving and getting. Now imagine he's got a proper centre forward that he can go and give the ball to and play on.
Imagine if he had Harry Kane in his team. Like how good he'd be.
Oh.
It'd just be ridiculous.
Don't get Lubo started.
Yeah, they take teams apart. Do you know what? Just before we say anything, Lubo, I've got a weird conspiracy. If Bayern Munich win the Champions League and Harry Kane wins next in summer, that's what I think.
I've been told 2027 he's coming back. That was the latest bit of info from the same ITK whose mate knows the Kane fan.
If he wins the Champions League, I could see that happening. That wouldn't surprise me.
I genuinely think if he wins the Champions League, I think next year he wins the Ballon d'Or, right? I think that's what
Barcelona. He may replace Lewandowski at Barcelona.
No.
With all due respect, if you're Harry Kane, the best striker in the world, arguably, winning Ballon d'Ors, winning Champions Leagues, winning Bundesliga, why the fuck would you come to
why are you
Spain?
coming to talk?
Yeah, it's true.
As much as I love him, and this dream of him coming back would be amazing, what does that say about him? Like, what are you doing?
Agreed.
Yeah, but he'd only come back, right, if he can see that they're actually buying class players. Like if they go and buy more Kuduses and more like around the whole pitch, it's a different story. Like you've got someone like Xavi Simons you can play with. Look, I think what I like about Xavi Simons is that you can see he is miles and miles and miles above anyone in the squad in terms of technical ability. The only person that comes close to him is on par with him, is Kudus. That's
Yeah,
technical ability, right?
I
But
agree with that.
there is no one else who is as good as they are on the ball, right? Romero's a centre back, yeah, Van der Ven as well, top class on the ball. But in terms of what he did today, I saw him driving at players, I saw him going past players, and the worst thing was that stood out the most, and I said it earlier on, was when there was one a little counter, and it was just past the halfway line, and Xavi was on the ball, and he slowed down, and the crowd, you could hear the crowd basically like going a bit crazy, and it was because they were trying to jeer on the Spurs players to make the runs.
Danny, your internet is terrible, by the way. You keep.
Oh, is it really bad?
Yeah, you keep cutting out during sentences. So I don't know about everyone else, but I'm just trying to piece together what you're saying. And
why don't you leave and come back?
Yeah, leave and come back in.
So can I answer Steve Combo about my ITK with Harry Kane? The information I had was that Kane's wife has settled very nicely in Munich and thoroughly enjoys it and doesn't want to come back just yet. So that's the reason.
These are the same ITKs that said Harry Kane won't go to Bayern Munich because his wife wants to stay in England. She loves it here.
Well, listen, it was at the end of the day that was his decision. Wasn't it? That was his decision. But his wife.
Look, can we be honest?
Hey?
If Harry Kane, let's just say next summer, if Harry Kane in the summer came back to Tottenham, Stelly's right. You would have to go, what? Why are you doing that? Like, why are you leaving one of the biggest clubs in the world to come back to Tottenham? Like, why?
He wants to break Shearer's record, I've been told.
I don't see
go
it
to
happening.
Man City, go to Liverpool, break the record.
But hang on. Liverpool got Isak and Ekitike. City have got Haaland.
But they need
United have
Haaland.
just got
They can't
Sesko,
defend
who I'm
the
sure
strike.
will come good. Chelsea have got Yao Pedro, etc. So, well, you know.
I think City need more than Haaland.
And we got first option, providing we match the price.
I don't see it happening here, but I wouldn't be the most surprised if it did.
We'll live where I say we live.
Yeah,
This is
true.
surely somebody who's not married, because this type of conversation wouldn't go down well with
To be
my
fair,
wife.
right? If he's paying the bills, he's got a bit of leverage, you know. He's got a bit of
Yeah, well, that's only if he's got married and done a what's it called before you get married. Otherwise, he's absolutely
Prenup.
fucked.
A
Yeah,
prenup.
otherwise he's absolutely done. She'll be entitled to about 70-80% of what she's got because she'd walk off with the kids, mate. And
Maybe
she'd pocket the lot.
Maybe she's in the meeting with his agent, you know, and they go,
Yeah.
right, what are you offering us? What's going on?
Well, that's her brother-in-law, isn't it?
Can I ask, guys? Can I ask? That'll move nicely actually into if anyone wanted to say anything about Xavi Simons before we move on. Anyone?
I thought he had a very good first half. He wasn't involved quite so much second half, and I thought he got pulled, and it worked out because Tell came on for him and Tell scored. So you got to say that Frank got that right.
He has. You can see improvement there, and today I don't think it was his fault why he couldn't get up to a certain standard, because at times he just had no one to pass the bloody ball to because they were behind him.
Listen, I like Xavi Simons. When we signed him, I did a whole kind of 10-minute speech about why I think he's going to be really good for Spurs. However, just keeping it real, people, you know, I thought today, again, fans are getting a little bit ahead of themselves. Did he create a killer pass? No. Did he split the lines and?
Yeah, but still, he didn't. He didn't create.
Let me finish. I know. Before you jump in, right? Did he set one of our players through 1-on-1? No. Did he get a shot away? No. So in terms of actually, did he dictate the game? No. In terms of actually showing something of that quality that I want to see, I don't think he really showed it today. What he did do, and this is what I said in my vlog, was he showed good first touches, good glimpses of laying off the ball, good glimpses of quickly releasing players on the flanks. But in terms of actually outcomes, which is what my criticism was of Udogie was, I didn't see that today. I didn't see outcomes. So I think he will come good, and I'm glad we signed him. I like him, but I need to see outcomes from him now, and I'm not seeing that. Against Copenhagen, I saw an outcome. Against Copenhagen, he's the one that split that ball to Johnson to score that goal. So
But
that's
still,
what I
don't you think it will look good? Like if we can actually get technicians of the ball around him, Kulu, Maddison, people that he can, you know, the old 1-2, the people he can pass to that he knows he's going to get it back. And I think he'll look like such a different player when he's around better footballers. He's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it in his feet. You can see it.
He's got the footballing brain as well, Savva. You can see. But again, I know what Stel was saying about today, but how many times did you see he was just getting frustrated? The crowd were getting, you could hear it on TV. I mean, Stel, you were in the stadium. I could hear it on TV, the groans at the players when they were making the runs.
So when I first came on the show, I said, because of the way we're set up, we're not attacking enough, and it hinders some of our players. Do you not think we should be more attacking in our approach to allow Xavi Simons to have those players running in? Because I think both fullbacks should be bombing up. Take your pick. As long as you've got two players holding back in front of the defence, it's okay. That's what I think. We need to set up in a way that gives him those options there as well. And I don't think we're quite doing that at the moment.
Still, if you notice, United's middle four, the two wing backs played right on the touchline.
Yeah,
they were very, very wide. They didn't come in at all. They were the way they set up.
Also, Lubo, just to add what Stel was saying about you said the fullbacks bombing, right? They can only do that when you've got a left-footed left fullback and a right-footed right fullback.
Correct. That's right.
And Spence plays on that left. You can see clearly he can't do it. When he played in Ange's system as an inverted fullback, he was perfect for that because he could invert inside, which is where Jed Spence was playing the best football last season. But as a fullback who goes on the outside for an overlap, that type of fullback, he's just not it for the left-hand side. He can't do it. Defensively, he's amazing, but he just can't do the attacking side of the game. So he loses that impotence on that left side, right? But with Porro, if Porro's not doing it...
That's why Udogie has to play there, Danny.
That's right.
I agree. But that's the problem. Like when Porro's not doing it on the right-hand side, you've got Porro doing it, or you've got Spence at right back doing it and Udogie at left back.
Do you think? Can I ask, guys? I want to move the conversation on to the fullback area, and I'm going to go through each one of them. I want to start with Udogie. Udogie for me is a really interesting character because he's somebody that for 2.5 years now, he's not really been able to keep himself fit, which I think is a huge issue. Right? I think this is a big issue, right? Clearly a very talented lad who's got a great build for a left back, left wing back, whatever. Great build, powerful runner. He's good on the ball. And I've said for me personally, what I think this lad has got to work on is composure. You know, got to work on composure. There was one stage today, I know he put the ball in for Tell's goal. There was one stage today when he'd been on for about 5 minutes. And Spurs had 5 or 6 players in the box. And Udogie was on the left-hand side with no one near him. And you're thinking, just whip it across the box. Just whip it across. And he dillies and he dallies and he takes a touch. But I wonder what you guys think of Udogie. And also, is it going to be an issue with his availability? Is that the reason why we're not seeing him play week in, week out because of his fitness?
It is a frustration because he's got fantastic potential. You know, you look at him; he's powerful, he's tall, he's fast. You know, he's got all the attributes. You know, for a top fullback.
Agreed.
Today. He's athletic. You know, and for me, it is a frustration because he could be one of the best fullbacks, at least in the Premier League. You know,
did you actually watch him in Italy?
I saw a few games, Dan. I watched on the Sunday afternoon. I watched a few games. He looked fabulous.
Yeah. How did he play? How did he play?
Wasn't he? 19.
How did he play? How did he play?
Terrific. He played further up.
No. He played as a wing back in every single game. Not once did he play as a left back that I remember. Maybe once, maybe. He did not play a left back position. He played a pushed up wing back to go up the pitch and get it on the other side.
But
this is why it's not working 100% for him here or Porro, because neither of them are left back or right back. They're wing backs. They're there for getting forward, not defending.
But as we were saying before, listen, the team played very well in Italy against PSG. But we've not had the centre backs in depth for us to play three at the back. You set up all week to play a specific system. Player gets injured after 5 minutes, and you haven't got a full centre back on the bench. Mm-hmm. You got to switch the whole thing around, and all of a sudden,
that's not what I'm questioning.
Are up in smoke.
I'm just telling you why you ain't seeing the best out of him. That's all I was doing. I wasn't disagreeing with what you said. I think he could be significantly better, because I don't even think he's played as good over here as he did in Italy.
Who's this? Who are these two left backs?
You're going to tell me Anthony Robinson?
Yeah.
Anthony Robinson is the
Udogie,
and Udogie is the blue. Right now, Anthony Robinson has got years on Udogie. I'm not doubting that, but that is where we need to get Udogie to.
Yeah.
Right. That is where you need to get a left back to. Right. Look at Anthony Robinson for absolutely everything: crosses, carrying, aerial, duels, possession one, everything. This is what I think we need to develop Udogie into. And when you look at Anthony Robinson, last season the bloke got 10 Premier League assists. Right. And this is what I think we need to develop him into. I don't know if anyone agrees, and that's what I'd love. By the way, I'm a huge Anthony Robinson fan. By the way, I think he's the perfect left back.
Well, year before last, when I went over to Craven Cottage, we had seats right at the top of the stand, and Robinson ripped Porro apart. I mean, they doubled up on him. Like Fulham won 3-0. Fulham won 3-0. Dragusin was playing on the left side. At centre half, and he had a horrendous game playing on the left. And Robinson was just superb, just phenomenal that day. And you could see the quality. So do you go and buy Robinson as well? So you got the two of them in this, in the squad. The ultimate thing is to have two top players for every position.
I think this comes down to. Sorry, I'm gone.
And then you got a few kids, and then you got 3 keepers, and there's your squad. So, really, it's.
Do we need a new left back, guys? Like
yes.
Stage now
massively.
where
we've only got one. We've only got one.
Massively.
Don't you think it depends on how Frank wants to play football?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I think we need one.
We're saying how we want to play, how we think we should play.
Yeah, but still, the way Frank is trying to play football, you can see it's when you've got 2 fullbacks who are utilizing the wing, right? Who are actually going to the byline, crossing it back, whether that's a cross or crossing it across the box.
We don't play that
yeah, but we do when we've got Udogie playing, and Porro doesn't, because Porro's not quick enough to do that.
When do our fullbacks go up to the byline and cross it in? I don't really see them do that.
Udogie does. That's Udogie's game.
I rarely see him do it. He does
do it though. Still, that's the thing. He does. That's how he gets. That's how he plays. That's how Frank wants him to play.
Danny, I think there's a difference. Udogie gets in the positions to do it, but doesn't do it enough. So what we saw for the goal today,
but
that's what we should be seeing from Udogie every game. He is the one of all these players I look at and I think this guy could be coached to be top. Like,
yeah,
I think
class.
He's got all the attributes.
Yeah,
just the composure. And I've always been taught the hardest ball in football is the final ball, right? It's the final ball. And if you do you remember? I'm not comparing them as players, by the way. Do you remember when Ronaldo was younger, as in Cristiano, and it was loads of tricks, loads of skill, but absolutely no end product? Everyone used to say, like, do you know what I mean? He didn't know what final pass, he didn't know when to pass, when to shoot, right? And once that got coached into him, and that's the same. Gareth Bale was the same. You used to see when Gareth Bale was first at Spurs, wasn't it? There was a lot of huff and puff, but no product. And that's what I think. I'm not saying Udogie's going to be him, but my only concern is I just wonder whether or not, I know everyone wants to see Udogie every game at left back. I just wonder whether or not that's the reason why he's not, because of his injuries. It's just a fault. Because otherwise I don't know why he wouldn't start there.
I think that's
it came out this week about him being threatened with a gun, didn't it? And I wonder
about
whether
2 or 3 months
some
ago.
of the games that he missed was down to that.
Could be.
Possibly.
Yeah, it's about 2 or 3 months ago. Something they said.
Yeah, it was
about
beginning
that.
of September.
Yeah, could it might not have. Don't know. But again, he's another one. He's not a defensive-minded player. He's an attacking-minded player. He wants to get forward with the ball. He's again. This is where so many people just totally misunderstand a left back to a left wing back. Okay, a wing back does have to do a bit of defending and get back here or there, but when you play wing backs, you've usually got 3 at the back, or you have one of them go up the pitch like when Man City did, and then they slot into 3 at the back. They're both attacking-minded players. Spence, he's more of a defensive-minded player.
Oh, for
Can
sure.
get forward, but he's more of a defender. Spence, I would call a right back, or play him as a left back. Porro or Udogie, you're never going to see the best of them out as a defensive left back or right back.
So
You've got to have them charging up the pitch, overlapping, getting forward.
So let me ask you then, guys. Would anyone like to see a run of games now where Spence plays right back and Udogie plays left back? Because I'll be honest, guys, I'm really worried about Porro for a long, long time now. Not just his defending, not just. I'm really worried. He can't seem to pass a football 5 yards anymore. His crossing looks absolutely horrendous most of the time. I keep hearing he's tired. This is beyond being tired. I just wonder whether Spence will be good in that right back area and Udogie left. I don't know what you guys think.
I think Spence marking one-on-one is as good as anybody in the team.
Mhm.
Attacking wise, not bad. We've seen a few forays up. Scored a nice goal at Ipswich last year. Played a couple of nice 1-2s with Maddison and finished off nicely. Porro, up to a couple of weeks ago, his stats outside of the defending side, his stats were absolutely first class compared to the rest of the Premier League. So I'm not too sure why there's such negativity about Porro. Yes, today he had a poor game, and he's had 1 or 2 poor games this season as well. But his stats, if you're going on stats, if you have a look at his stats this season, outside of the defending side, have been absolutely superb. And
He's a bit burnt out.
He just looks so poor. He looks so poor at the moment.
He hasn't had a rest. You know, he's been the one guy who's not. Savvy's not been. He's the only player that's not been injured out the whole squad, I think.
No, I understand
more than the keeper, isn't he?
But when players don't play well consistently, I keep hearing this about arrest. There are many players in the Premier League who play week in, week out for their football club and play well. And is anyone saying Gabriel at Arsenal hasn't had a rest? Like, don't need a rest. He's just class. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't understand when one of ours plays badly, we always go, "Oh, he needs a rest." I don't.
There's a lot more running at fullback than Sav. There's a lot more running at fullback than there is at centre back.
I'm not saying there's not, but needing a rest doesn't suddenly mean you can't pass a football anymore and you keep giving it away. And I'm sorry, these are fit men.
Sav, do we not think Kudus looked really tired? You know, we were saying that, you're flogging every single game. He's involved heavily, and he's starting to look tired, wasn't he, before the injury?
But I don't. But Kudus visibly looked tired. I'm not looking at Porro saying he looks tired. I'm watching Porro and going, you just don't look very good at the moment.
I get what you're saying. I've looked at Kudus past couple of games, and round about 70 minutes, you can actually see he's huffing and puffing a bit. You can actually see he's a little bit burnt out from the game. Whereas Porro, you don't quite see it to the same extent like you do there. So I get where you're coming from, but he has played he has played consistently for a fair while now. I mean, people say that Kulusevski burns himself out.
Oh God,
Others say that he just can't do more than half a season. I don't know. Maybe he has burnt himself out a little bit. I don't know, but he doesn't look as good as he has done for a little while.
It's just the simple things, Dan. By the way, it's not. I'm not asking for miracles. Just like he always used to be very good with those 5-10 yard passes out from the back. Now he seems like he's constantly clipping it to people and giving it away. And I don't know. I don't know. I'd quite like to see Spence there for a bit and Udogie at left back if he can stay fit.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too.
He gets focused on every game. Literally every game he gets focused on. Nearly every game. Because that's how they've sussed us out. He does get a lot of pressure on him where he is our weak spot as a defender.
But I'll go back to what I've always said, right? You know, when we talk about this players and squad, look how badly this squad has been put together in terms of personnel, skill set. Like, it's literally the squad's been put together with no plan in mind, isn't it? And that is exactly why I think we need to give Thomas Frank a break and actually let this manager have 2, 3, 4 windows and actually get in the players that he wants and then judge him. That's because at the moment you've got fullbacks that aren't really fullbacks. You've got no ball playing midfielders anywhere to be seen. You've got 4 strikers at the club. Could any of you make an argument that any of these 4 strikers are actually good enough?
What?
Solanke, Richie, Tell, Moani, like, are any of them that good?
I think Moani is.
I think Moani's top draw. He changed the whole World Cup final. Anyone that could go in and do that, he had such a massive influence in that game.
What has he done that's top draw?
Who? Moani?
I knew this would get Stel. I've seen
He
Stel
doesn't
talk
score.
about
He hasn't
Moani.
scored a goal. We signed a striker who doesn't score, top draw. How?
He hasn't played. He's hardly played still.
He's hardly played. He's literally hardly played.
Games he hasn't played, he hasn't scored. And you call him top draw.
He hasn't played.
The game, Moani. Sorry, I've must be late at night. Have I confused someone else? Was that the guy we signed as the striker?
He's made 8 appearances.
Right, he is the guy, right.
4 in the league, 1 in the League Cup, and 3 in the Champions League. And so far across those games, he's got 1 assist.
Right. How many minutes has he played, though? How many minutes has he played?
Top draw.
Now.
How many minutes, though, still? He's not played 90 times 8.
I'm going to tell you.
You called him top draw, not me. Now you're trying to wriggle out of it. Oh, but he hasn't played exactly 62
I think he's a top draw striker.
If he played 71 minutes, he'd get the goal.
Hang on. So, Lubo, to your point, he played 14 minutes against Villarreal, 12 against Villa, 21 against Monaco, 62 v Everton, 26 v Newcastle.
Sorry, 26 did you say? That's hang on, 135. And Chelsea, how long?
73.
Savva, give me the numbers, I'll add it up. Go on,
218. That's 218.
14.
Yeah.
12.
It's 208. Yeah. We're up to Chelsea's 208.
1 minute, 21, yeah.
62.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
73.
Yeah.
73.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
46.
It's nothing.
Right,
like
so
what?
that's 327. So if we divide that by 90 minutes,
327.
He's played just under 4 games in total, like full 90 minutes.
Yeah, and he's got 1 assist in 4 games.
And he's got no goals. We signed him as a striker. Your job is to score.
Still, he's only just started to get fit and then broken his jaw.
Richarlison is outperforming him as a striker.
Richarlison's played every single game.
He scores
How
goals.
are you comparing? How are you comparing? Oh my God.
Hang on.
Ridiculous.
Sorry, how are you measuring Moani? What are you looking at?
Still, Moani has not played. You just said it yourself. He's played less than 4 games.
Danny, your mic is so loud, by the way. Your mic is so
Let me turn it down.
He called him top draw. What is he doing that is top draw? Top draw means you are top player. What has he done that's top?
If you'd have, you know what, Stel, if you'd have been my age, you'd have been, and YouTube would have been around then.
What the fuck are you
You'd
talking
have
about?
been
What
on.
has he
Hang
done
on,
that's top draw?
hang on, hang on. Hang on, go back. Hang on.
Archie Gray's top draw. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Still, if we'd have been having this conversation in 1989 when Lineker joined, after 5 games Lineker hadn't scored, you'd be going, he's absolute shit. He's crap. He's played for Everton and Barcelona, but he's shit.
But Lineker proved that he was good. What has this guy
Oh
done?
my God,
He hadn't
Stel,
played.
what? Are you serious?
Lineker
How can
didn't
he
score.
prove? How can he prove anything in 4 games?
When I'll tell you how, Danny. I'll tell you how. Put the ball in the back of the net and not miss sitters against Copenhagen. How's about that? How's about that?
Oh, but so he's just come back, right? He's just got fitness, and now because
If
he
you're
didn't.
top draw, you don't miss sitters.
The one chance he's had, he misses, right? But then he sets up a goal in a brilliant way, and then what is that? Still, are you like serious?
Danny, what's your job as a
Richarlison
striker? What's your job as a striker?
Hold on, Stel.
What
The
is your
amount
job
of
as a striker?
chances that Richarlison misses in one game is more than what Muani
And I
missed.
say he's shit, Danny.
in
But I call
career.
him shit. But I call
I
him shit.
despair.
But
I
I call
despair.
him
This
shit.
is nuts. This is nuts. This is
No,
nuts.
you lot are nuts. Tell me how Muani is top draw. No. How is he top draw? What has he done at Tottenham? Fuck other clubs. What's he done at this club?
We don't know yet. We don't know what he's going to do for Tottenham yet.
Exactly, you don't know, so don't call him top draw.
It's based on what he's done in his career.
He's been told by every club he's been to, leave.
That's why Juventus wanted to sign him as their striker.
Again, I think it's just different words that people use and people take it different
I
ways.
think
It's
he's a
like
good player, but he's not top draw.
I agree.
Top draw.
I'm with Stel on that one. I think he's good, but I don't think he's nothing special. It depends how someone wants to take it. It's like when someone tells me he's quality. No, he ain't fucking quality.
He's not like an
He's a good
Osimhen
player.
level still.
No,
He's
but
not
I'm,
like
sa-
Osimhen.
but I'm saying a lot of people. I mean, how many times do you hear the word world class?
Generational.
No one said he's world class.
Yeah,
No
I
one
didn't
said
say
he's world class.
Ian. I'm not saying that at all.
Okay,
What I'm
does-
saying
can
is,
you-
how
okay,
often
sorry,
do you
know
hear
what?
the
No,
word
let
world
me-
class to compare
Guys, you know
someone?
what? Let me apologize.
How
Hold on,
often
let me
do you hear
apologise.
someone using the
I
phrase
think
generational?
he's a 15,
You know?
15,
Guys, let me
15
apologise.
season striker.
Danny, I'm gonna apologise, right? Guys, I'm sorry. Lubo.
You don't need to apologise.
No. I want to, right? I'm sorry. Lubo.
He's admitting he
what
was
does
wrong.
Hold on, right? No, I can own it. I'm sorry, guys. Lubo, what does top draw mean?
Someone that goes into a World Cup final, the biggest
Have
game
another
you
coffee.
could ever play in your career, and make a massive difference and a massive impact in that game. You know, we always look at players and we look at players and we think, do you know what? Can they play at the top level? Can they handle the pressure? He was superb. He came on. He was superb in that final, and his goal record's not. His goal record's not shabby either. Have a look.
So, Lubo, can I say then, if you don't get to play in the World Cup final, you're not top draw?
I think if you play in a World Cup final, I think you've got to be a bloody good player.
No, if you don't get to play in the World Cup final,
if
you're
you
not top draw
influence
then.
a game, if you influence a very tight game, then
What game has Muani influenced? What game has Muani influenced at Spurs other than against a B-Tech Norwegian team?
he's coming back after an injury still. He hadn't played, he'd done no training for 11 weeks. He came back in, he got injured immediately, and he's working his way back to full fitness. So we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him fully fit yet. And now, what is it? A broken jaw he's got because Maguire conveniently stood in his way when he was running today.
It was an accident, through and through accident, Ian. Come on, man. That was not intentional.
Yeah,
Can we not wait for Muani to bang in the goals at Tottenham to then say top draw? Can we not wait for that before we do it?
Why can't I judge him on his career still?
Well, if you judge him on his career, it hasn't been special. It's been good. But why can't you? But why does a player have to be crap? Or why does a player have to be top draw or generational? Why can't he just be good?
He's a very good player.
I think he's a good player. I don't think he's exceptional or generational.
When someone says to me you're top draw, you're right up there. You're at the.
I agree with that.
Hang on. My point to all of this was going to be that the follow-up before everyone went on this massive tangent was going to be, do Spurs need a striker in January? Like,
Yes.
No,
so
we've
when
got,
I'm
we've got
asking,
top draw on Savva. We've got
no,
top
hang
draw
on, hang on, hang on. So when I'm asking about, are any of them good enough, like to lead the line at Tottenham? If I said to you right now, Spurs have got the option to take, just for example, Spurs in January have got the option to take a just hypothetical, a Tony or a Vlahovic on loan
Yeah,
for 6
Tony.
months.
take him.
Would you say no, it's okay, we've got Solanke and Mawani, or would you be saying get me that guy in my team now immediately?
No,
Get me that
Tony.
guy and sell Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No. I get that.
And then you got three. Then you got
Sell-
three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but selling Richie, I'm not putting that on the table because
We would
that's
also
going to be
Richie.
harder to do than we think because the guy
would
don't
also
want to
Richie.
leave, right?
I think,
Everton.
yeah. I think, Sav, I think what Lubo said, if you have Tony, Muani, and Solanke as your strikers, I think until the end of the season, I think it will be enough because we're not going to get better than that right now. We're just not. I think you can rotate between the three different types of strikers. And I think if they can stay fit as well, then
Danny,
it's all you
that's
need.
right. If Solanke can get fit at the moment, it doesn't sound. Frank can't even. The guy's had an operation. Frank can't. When he was asked whether he'd be back before the end of this year, Frank couldn't give an answer. So that doesn't
Yeah, he said
sound.
maybe not.
That
Yeah.
doesn't sound positive that op's gone well, does it? Reading
Nope.
between the lines, I might be totally wrong, but it doesn't sound good.
Well, before he was
There
saying
is-
he was doing well, and then all of a sudden he doesn't know when he's going to be back. Maybe not even this year. So that's not
So-
good.
That's what
That-
sort of happened with Kunu, wasn't it?
Well, basically
So-
now at this moment in time, depending on how long Muani's going to be out now with a broken jaw, right? That means
That can be a
Richarlison.
little while.
Huh?
Depends how bad he's broke his jaw. If
Well,
it's
this is
in
what I
more than
mean.
one place.
Is that why he came off today?
Yeah, broken
Looks
jaw.
like-
Yeah, that elbow in the face busted him.
So does that mean for all the people in my chat that were going, oh my God, why is Frank taking off Mawani?
Yeah.
You can-
No, I knew why he'd taken him
All
off.
doing the same. We were all doing the same, Sav. All of us were, right? And to be honest with you, I wanted him to stay on. But what's scary right now is that Richarlison and Scarlett is our only strikers. And what's even more funny is that I'd rather Scarlett play than Richarlison right now as our striker. I'd actually give Scarlett a
think,
chance.
Danny, I think the problem with this, right? I said this earlier. I think the problem with this is, I think that all sounds well and good, but I think if we actually saw Dane Scarlett play for Spurs for 90 minutes, I think we'd all realise very, very quickly why no manager gives him a game, why he hasn't done well on any of his loans. I think the other night he had a good cameo, but it's very different having a good 10-minute cameo
But I agree,
to
Sav.
leading the line in a Premier League game.
But what
But
player?
Mawani was really good against.
But what player can have one game and then that's it? Then we look at them in one game and say, right, they're going to be our player now. He's got to have a run of games, like Luba was saying about Archie Gray.
He's never going to get a run of games, is he, Danny?
But the
Let's be
thing
honest.
is, yeah, but
Dane Scarlett's never going to get a run of games. He's got too many people in front of him.
But he's going to have to play at some point because if Muani's now out, Sav, the only striker we have now is Dane Scarlett and Richarlison. That is it.
Danny,
Johnson up front.
he'll play Tell. He'll play Tell at centre forward.
Yeah, all that, yeah.
By the way, Lubo, people in the chat
But
have just
that's what's
checked.
worrying though.
In
Stand
the
up
World
right-
Cup final, Mawani missed a shot and France lost on penalties. How the fuck did he influence the game?
We back to that.
Well, no, because Lubo said that he's top draw because he influenced the World Cup final. No, he didn't.
He made an impact when he came on. I didn't
They
say he won.
lost.
I didn't say he won.
They
it.
lost. Where's the?
Argentina
he
won
missed
it.
the
It
shot.
was Messi final.
He missed the shot in the game.
Yeah, that one-on-one that was remembered.
Savva,
Yeah.
listen, we all know that none of the strikers at this club should be at this club, including Mawani, right? What I would do with Mawani is I'd keep him as the third choice striker because he's got technique and he can assist, right? I'll give him that. He can assist and he has got very good technique. Today, he beat a player, went round the corner and won us a corner where Johnson refused to take on the man. So when Mawani did pull out to the flanks, he beat the man. He's got technique. He's got skill.
Yeah.
But for me, when I say striker,
He's not a full
I
proper
want
striker. We
someone.
know that.
I want someone that shoots and scores. Today, I can't remember who it was, guys, but we actually put together a half decent passage of play, and one of our players went through, and it was 1, 2, 3 touch, and then I think the goalie either smothered it or sorry.
Was it one where Johnson scored the offside goal?
No, it was in the
Is it that
first
one?
half. It's in the first
Oh,
half.
okay, no, it's not.
And
Yeah,
when I saw that happen,
Oh wait, it was Johnson. It was Johnson.
was it Johnson? Right. For me,
Yeah.
it was any other player, any other striker takes that first touch, second touch, bang. Harry Kane would have snapped at that shot, and he would have either gone bottom corner.
If you want that still,
I've got to shoot. I'll catch up with you later.
Cheers, Dan.
See you later.
The point I'm making is, see you later, Dan. The point I'm making is, if we sign a striker, I want someone that shoots and knows how to do it. And I don't think any of the players, including Mwani, do that.
If you want that type of striker still, for me, if you're going to go out of the Premier League to buy a striker, who, if you pay the wages, is maybe gettable, you go to Galatasaray and you get Osimhen.
God, that guy's on 400 grand a week.
Yeah, we're never getting him.
That guy is not gettable.
Tony.
There's a reason.
If you pay the wages and you want someone who's that prolific,
We're not going to pay.
Yeah, but look, Lubo, there's a reason why Osimhen is in Galatasaray and none of the big clubs are taking him, because he's all about that.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Now that's fine. I've got no problem with anyone making their money, but look, for me, I make Stell right. I miss the days of when a striker scared people. And the problem for me is I look at Solanke, Richarlison, and Mwani. Now, I think Mwani is the best of the bunch, but I'm purely going off of what I've seen in not in a Spurs shirt, right? I miss the days where you got a striker in and around the box and teams used to shit themselves. You know, like when a Jermaine Defoe would pick the ball up 30 yards out and you go, this boy's going to shift this onto his right, onto his left. He can dribble through. He's going to work the goalkeeper, right? I don't think we've got a natural clinical predator in that forward line. I don't think we've got anyone who sniffs out a goal. I think that's what Stell was the point he was making.
Do you know who I'd love to have?
When I don't want to use Kane because he's that level.
Do you know who I want? Who I want?
Like a Robbie Fowler type player.
Hang on, yeah, but hang on, Danny, 1 second. This is my point. I just want somebody that their first thought is, how am I getting a shot away here? And if I can't get a shot in, who can I pass to that's going to get it back to me so I can get a shot in? We've got Solanke's a runner. For me, Solanke's a runner. Richarlison's a runner. And what I mean by that, they work hard. They run around, they work hard, they bulldoze. Mwani looks to me at the moment to be a runner, but he's only played 4 games, right? Tell is a runner. None of them are that kind of that cold-blooded sense of I'm a striker. Now, if you can't
an old-fashioned striker, you want.
Yeah, but if you can't get that, and get what Newcastle have got. Newcastle have gone and got the big guy up top who everything sticks to him like glue, right? He's got great footwork. He's good in the air, brings others into the game, and he scores a few goals as well. We've kind of got a halfway house. We've got no one that can hold the ball up and no one that's a predator, you know?
But the problem is
goals.
The game is dying. It's a dying breed, those type of strikers anymore. Like, gone are the days where you used to have so many in the league, right? You used to have so many of these strikers who are like that, like the Jermaine Defoes and these type of players. The one player who I think is like that, who I've always wanted ever since I've seen him play, right? When this was years ago, is Julian Alvarez at Atletico Madrid. For me, he's that old school type striker, right? He is someone who is technically unbelievable, good on both feet. He's decent in the air, but he wants to go and shoot. He wants to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's the natural finisher. For me, if I could go and get one striker right now in the world If it's not Harry Kane or Osimhen, it would be him. That's who I'd get. I'd pay 100 million for him. He's that good. I think he's quality.
Yeah, fat chance of that happening.
Yeah, I know.
This is the problem. If a player like Alvarez came onto the market, he's going to have suitors everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, I know.
He's going to have suitors everywhere. This is, I just want, I don't know. I don't see any clinicians, if that's the right terminology, that is in our team. I don't look at any of them and think you sniff out goals.
None of them do. No.
None of them. But none of the wide men either. None of the wide men and none of the forwards are goal machines. None of them.
Well, it's like Gareth Bale said the other day in an interview. He was like, "You don't get many good like attacking players anymore." It's something on those lines where he was saying something like, "You don't get those attackers that get you off their seat and score goals. Basically, it's not a breed anymore." And then when they come around. When they do, it's being coached out of them. I agree, still, and that's the sad reality of the way football's going. And the problem is like when you do see them, because we don't see enough of them anymore. Like before, they were in abundance. You used to have so many of those type of strikers, so many of those type of Martinez as well. So many of those type of wingers. Nowadays, if you get one of them, the only people that are going to get those players are those top elite.
Danny, can I tell you what happened?
It's in the Liverpools and the Madrid, all those type of clubs, because they'll cost you way over 100 million nowadays. Like your Semenyo right now, you're not getting him.
Do you know we offered 50 million for Semenyo in the close season, and they wouldn't raise their bid. United as well, and Bournemouth said no. If we'd have offered 70, we'd have probably got him.
Do you know what happened? When I first started coaching, we were taught to develop players that could take on a man. They said to us, the hardest thing you can do is teach a player to beat a man. It's the hardest thing. It involves
it's instinct.
Technique is being able to control a ball. Skill is being able to control a ball when someone's trying to tackle you. So the skill is taking on the player. The technique is being able to have the tools to then try to take on to change direction with the ball and keep the ball. And what happened was, we were all taught to develop players, how to dribble, how to beat a man, how to keep beating a man, and not to fear failure and to keep practicing it. Because once you drum in a young age, it's cemented as long as they keep practicing. It's hard to teach an older player to dribble. What happened was possession-based football became an obsession. So suddenly it's keep the ball, pass. What people fail to realize is if you take on a player and you beat them successfully, you still have possession of the ball. And the only team that showed that balance of possession-based football and dribbling was Pep's Barcelona, because you had Messi's, you had Xavi's, you had Iniesta's. They all took on players and they played a passing game. What's happened now is it's too much passing or tactics, counterattack.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dribbling has been coached out of the game. It's been coached out of it, and you get the odd player like Semenyo at Bournemouth, Yamal at Barcelona. You get the odd players that still do it, but they're lacking now. Those players, when we grew up, everyone was a dribbler. Letitia, Ginola, Kinkladze, Kanchelskis, Giggs. Even Aaron Lennon was a dribbler.
If you look, hang on, I've got to tell you, still, when I was growing up, you had Alan Hudson, you had Tony Curry, you had Stan Bowles, you had Glenn Hoddle, you had Liam Brady. There were so many. And today, if you look at Premier League football, the majority of it is two-touch, control and give and move. And that's it. There's hardly any dribbling at all. That's why it was so nice today to see Udogie go at his fullback for the last 20 minutes. That's what you want to see. The fact that, that lifted the fans in the ground.
Yeah.
See, we don't have a busy, even people that weren't as great goal scorers, but that were busy, like a Craig Bellamy, buzzing about constantly in and around the box, getting on the ball. Centre backs do not like players dribbling at them. They do not like being run at. Centre backs want it in the air, don't they? They want it in the air. They don't mind that fight. They don't want it on the ground. That's why Defoe, Owen, Robbie Keane, these small nippy forwards that would just give you hassle. And Spurs have got to we've got to find something for me, because our last set of forward signings, other than Kudus, for the last 5, I'll tell you what, here you go, guys. I'm gonna take this back to Son. We signed Sonny, 10 years ago?
2015, yeah.
Right. I did this once. Don't know if anyone remembers. I put a full list of every winger and forward that Tottenham have signed since Son. And it was just a kind of list of
and Kudus and Jays
it literally looked like a list of we haven't bothered scouting. You know, it was just so underwhelming.
Clinton and Jay, Jack Clark.
You had Vincent Janssen, Llorente. You had who's the Brazilian striker we took on loan? I think he's at Fulham.
Vincent Janssen.
Vinicius.
We had Vinicius. You had Udogie. You've had Brian Hill. You've had Werner. I'm just looking and thinking, how are we still making the same mistakes? Like, how have we not at any point been able to go and identify a gem? How have Brentford gone and identified an Umbremo and developed him?
Or Matoma for Brighton.
Or Matoma at Brighton. We can't seem to do it. We can never seem to do it. Just, I don't know.
Tom 94, Stag. Tom 94 could be a good shout. You never know.
Who?
Quietly coming through. Mason Media's coming in January.
Oh, good God. We're
That'll
doing
be
this
interesting.
Right, see, this is my frustration with Tottenham as a whole, right? We've got players who are very high up in the charts of successful dribble rates within our academy, right? I'm going to list you 5 players. So, Tynan Thompson, Lucas Williams-Barnett, Youssef Akamaric, Byfield, and Mikey Moore. They are all very good dribblers in their category, which is academy. Spurs surely can take one of those players who has been developed as a dribbler to then progress into the men's team and develop them as a dribbler at the adult level. We've got to take a risk with at least one of these kids and say, right, you're actually good at dribbling. We've actually got someone that can dribble. Can we now get you to dribble at an adult level against grown men in the Premier League? Can we as a club do that? And we just don't ever seem to give that a go. Yet, in the academy, we develop dribblers. It's in our philosophy. We develop them. We've got them. We don't progress them onwards. Instead, we're sitting here going, right, can we put £70 million on the table and get Semenyo? Can we go and get Savino for 70 million, which would be amazing because they're the finished article. They're ready. They don't need, they've arrived. But we've got players for free that we could do it with, potentially, if we gave it a go. We never do that. Or do
Phil, do you know who I like?
Sign Semenyo and try and bring one of the top dribblers in the academy through. So,
Still, I want to wrap up in a minute, by the way, guys, but I like Thompson. Whenever I've seen Thompson play,
he's a good dribbler.
I'm always excited. Like when he gets the ball, I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? But yeah, listen, like I just think, guys, moving forward, we've wasted a lot of money in the last 10 years on forwards. We've wasted so much money, and the best one we've had was free from our youth. Other than that, I mean, somebody, I saw a post today. Somebody posted and said between, was it Tel, Odeber, Yang, Johnson, Richarlison, Solanke, and it showed like it was like something like £290 million worth of forwards or something. I can't remember who was on the list, and it was like, wow, like who has signed this off for the last 5 years? Who is signing off these strikers? But guys, I'm gonna
Savva. Does no one in the club look at that and say, right, guys? Every year, every business does an end of season, end of year analysis of performance. And one of the areas you look at is, right, what was our performance in the transfer market? Does no one sit down with a pen and paper and just say, right, we've spent £290 million on these 7 players. Have they impacted us? Yes or no? Right. Does no one in the room say, guys, what if that £290 million next time we do it, go and sign 4 players for 70 million each, right? 4 players for the same money who are actually really fucking good. Does no one in the club look at that and just say, because like us four, we're average guys doing a YouTube show, just talking and having a conversation. There's very smart, experienced, savvy people that work in every pro club. Is there not anyone in there that says what we've just said?
Can I ask you something? If you're a United fan, Ten Hag joined. They spent 200 million on 3 players. They bought Lisandro Martinez, who's constantly injured, for 48.
Anthony for 90 odd million.
Anthony for 85, and Casemiro for 70.
Rasmus Højlund 75 million.
Yeah, I know that's right. He was. I think he was 63. Who's the United player who's scoring goals in Italy? Centre forward.
Rasmus Højlund.
That's Højlund, is it?
For Napoli, yeah.
So you look at United's transfer, and they're
just as bad as us. Look today.
Apart from
but Lubo, that's why Man U are not the Man U of old, because they have wasted it. But what Man U did, and fair play to them, is Man United realised last season we ain't got a forward line, right? And they went out and went Cunha, quality player, boom, done.
Some two of the best in the
done.
league.
Sesko, whatever, needs time, just come to the league. But they went immediately and revamped a forward line in one window. And we're sitting here going, well, we got Kudus, that's enough. No, Spurs in the summer window should have gone, right, we've got Kudus. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get Savio on the other wing. We're going to get Tony up front. There you go, Thomas. There's a brand new front three for Spurs to attack the season with. But we didn't, because we go, Tel could come good. Odeberg could come good. Richie's. I mean, how many people at the beginning of this season saw Richarlison score 2 goals and was giving us all this waffle about?
You know what it was, Sam? I'll tell you what it was. He played well. He had a decent game with Bilbao. He played well and worked hard against PSG. And he started against Burnley and he scored 2. And everyone's thinking, do you know what? It's World Cup year. Richie wants his place in the Brazilian team. Just maybe he's put all the injury and all the mental health issues to one side. Just maybe he's looking good. And he played well at City the following week. And since then, it's just been a disaster.
The thing is, he's playing well. Most of the games you mentioned there, he played well because he worked hard.
Yes.
He doesn't play well because he's a good footballer. So, like, with
he scored 2 against Burnley. He scored 2 very good goals against Burnley, and the work.
Paul Walker-Peters scored against Burnley today for West Ham. Do you know what I mean? I don't want him.
I reckon you can score against Burnley, Lubo.
But can we? The problem is, Lubo. The problem is we don't learn our lessons. Not Spurs fans, football fans, because Odeberg did well today, right? He did well. He did very well when he came on. But what I'm seeing on the internet is it's just way over the top. We did this with Richarlison the first game of the season. It's just way over the top. Tell scores a goal. So he's much better than people give him credit for. Whoa. Like, we need to stop this talk. We need to stop this. And as a club, we need to be ruthless. We need to go out and find our Mbuemo and Cunha. We need to go out and say, right, we need an Anthony Gordon. We need a Jared Bowen. We've got to be ruthless. We can't keep doing this. They might come good. This player will be. This is why we talk about wanting to be a top team, but our standards when it comes to footballers, look how many of our fans rate some truly terrible. Brennan Johnson today, right? Oh my gosh. I don't care where he was playing, right wing, left wing, striker. He is a dreadful footballer. But we've still got fans that go, Brennan Johnson. I don't want him anywhere near my club. I don't want him anywhere. That shouldn't be what Tottenham buy. That should be. We should actively be saying, if we've got anything about us guys as a football club, anything, they should be right now going, Brennan, we need to find Brennan a new club. We need to find Richie a new club, right? We need to get Basuma out of here. We need to get one of these young midfielders on loan. We need to get. We're not
Savva.
ruthless. We're not ruthless.
Savva, you know what? I have you right here. I 100% agree. And a great example of what you said in a situation where it's actually happened is when Arteta began the rebuild. They had £60 million spent on Aubameyang, £50 million on Lacazette, £75 million on Pepe. They had that guy with the long hair that played in midfield, the French young kid. They spent a lot of money on him. There's a lot of players they spent a lot of money on. Udogie, and they had that short Italian guy. They spent quite a bit of money on. He scored against Spurs when we lost 4-2. Forgot his name.
Was it Vieri?
No, he's Italian dude, short. He scored when we lost 4-2. It's when Eric Dyer scored to make us.
Lucas Torreira.
Torreira, that's it. And they spent a lot of money, right? I've just given you about £200-300 million there. Arteta came in and said, or whatever team of people they assembled, they said, we've spent a lot of money on them. They're not going to do it for us.
They all went. Ozil went. David Luiz went.
Ozil, big money here, right? Out.
See you later.
We've got to say we spent 50 on Johnson, 60 on
do the same
65 on Richarlison. Yeah, out. And this is why, guys, this is why you will never hear me say Frank out until the summer window shuts. Because I need to know and see if Frank's going to tell the board, listen, out.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you spend, out. Because if they're all here next year, then you'll see me have a very different approach with the manager. But he's got to be given until the summer to have that conversation. Because Savva, you're right. We need to be so goddamn ruthless in the summer and just take the losses. Odegaard, if he's still not hit his mark,
well, this is what we're hoping to see, right? Because Levy's not there anymore. So we're hoping now that we're not going to penny pinch for the players that Levy used to penny pinch for and overprice, so no one would buy our players, our dross that we need to get rid of. So now, in the summer window, we're now hoping that if a club comes in for a Richarlison, say 5-10 million, right? 1 year left on his contract, £7 million. Yep, take him, go, get him gone. Someone says, I don't know, whatever the next person, Basuma. Basuma's going to be a free transfer, isn't he, in the summer?
Mate, Arsenal took a hit on every player they got rid of. This is why no fan should be criticising, moan, groan, complain. Fine. No one should be Frank out until the 1st of September next year when that window shuts. Only then can you genuinely say, right, I'm not happy. Because
then it will also
that chance to clear it. Huh?
It will also. Sorry, Sav. It will also be a kind of telling of how this board want to run the club. Because if for example,
the manager, the transfer committee, all of them.
It will just literally be the same as Daniel Levy, just under a different brand. Basically, it's literally going to be the same.
Stel, when I started the show tonight, I said to the guys, I said, what the worrying thing for me is, I've watched Chelsea play tonight, and I watched Arsenal play earlier, and the level of technical proficiency I'm seeing in these teams, right, compared to our players, it is night and day. I'm watching Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. Now, they were big money. You're talking about £230 million of midfield there, right?
Yep. That's right.
Zubimendi and Rice. When you look at these levels of football,
million,
right?
That's 400 million for those four players, sir.
Right. But I look at them.
We've just raised 300 million with the players that Savva mentioned. That's 300 million there.
But I look at those clubs, and that's why when people are saying things to me like, I think we should get top four, and I think I'm looking at these clubs and going,
no way.
We are night and day. We are night and day from the level of footballers that these clubs have got. And I'm a believer still that when you've got a lot of average players, they can raise their game every now and then. They'll beat a Man City and put in a dazzling performance. But the top players, they put in those performances week in, week out because they are top footballers, right?
Consistency.
And this is why when people say things like, well, we beat Man City, why couldn't we beat them? Well, average players will go up and down in performance. They will. That's why 1 week, everyone's praising Sarr. The next week, everyone hates him. 1 week, everyone's praising Bentancur. The next week, everyone... because these players are not at
The level.
Chelsea wouldn't buy these players.
Savva,
Right?
Savva, the one thing
Liverpool
you
don't
can
buy
do,
these footballers.
the
Arsenal
one thing
wouldn't
you can
buy
do to actually
players.
get through to Spurs fans is just say to them, look at Poch's top prime team that we had,
Sure.
in the first 11 that we had, and look at the first 11 we have today, and you can say, how many of our first 11 right now get into Poch's team? That's how you know we're so far behind the level where we should be.
There you go. I'll answer that, Danny. Not one of this 11
only
would get
one
anywhere near Poch's prime 11. Not
The
one.
only one I'd say is Van der Ven.
I'm not putting him in above Vertonghen. No way.
You wouldn't put him above Vertonghen. No, you wouldn't. But
But Danny, hold on, Danny. The reason I'm able to not be Frank out, but question the manager at times is because when I see a team like Sunderland put in the performances they put in, week out, and I know their squad isn't better than ours. They've got some players that are decent, but I don't think their squad's better than ours. I say to myself, why aren't we able to do that more often? I don't expect it every week because we're playing more games than Sunderland. But why aren't we more often able to put in that kind of performance, that kind of energy? So there are times I think the manager could have done it different. But look, but I agree with you what you guys are saying. Frank needs that year. I give every manager a year. Every manager needs a year here. They need a year just to understand where the fuck they are. This is Tottenham.
I would also say
we're different to everyone else. We do things differently. Yeah.
Man, I think. Can I just say
Kudus would get
to
into that team. Kudus would. I agree.
couple of comments that Reezy's made about Frank. Too agreeable, and he isn't ruthless. Reezy, if he's not ruthless, and he's stuck with these players next year, he won't be in a job, and he knows that. So he has to make sure. You know, when I look at the window, when I look at the transfer window we've just had, all four players, to me, with the players we've got now, if fit, Moani, Simons, Paolini, and Kudus, all four players start in our 11. They all go straight in.
Yeah,
agreed.
So for me, that's you. Normally, when you buy four and they go straight in, most of the time, that's a really good window.
Mm-hmm.
Our transfer windows for the last 10 years have been so poor that we are well short.
Yeah,
we are well short. Now, for Spurs for our club, with the way the transfer policy's been, to get four players that come in is good for Tottenham standard. But we need to throw that standard in the bin now, because that's gone. Levy's gone. And we need, and I sincerely hope, because if these guys, with all the spiel they've given, I will be more ENIC out than ever, because Levy never hid the fact that he wasn't interested in the football side. These guys are making out they're interested in the football side. Yeah. So I expect a lot more from these guys than I did from Levy.
Lubo, can I what makes me laugh is, and I do need to wrap up in a minute. My eyes are going. When people like Reezy say Frank isn't ruthless and he's agreeable, first and foremost, he's got no way of knowing that. Like there's nothing that's happened so far to suggest that. If you actually look what happened in the summer, Frank, all the players that Spurs went after, you're right, Lubo, the four that we bought in, but look at the ones we didn't get that we went for. Gibbs White, right?
Eze,
Savinho, right? So that's not me. That's not agreeable. Would have been okay. Oh, he's agreeing to take more 18-year-olds, yada yada yada. But also, if anyone actually listens to what Thomas Frank said in the summer, did you guys remember when he said that? Like he said, the recruitment team don't get what I want yet. Along those lines, he was like, "No, we've had to have some conversations because the standard they're putting in front of me isn't what I expect." So what we've actually heard from Frank is that he's not a yes man. What we've actually seen from Frank is that he is going for better footballers. So I think this whole thing that he's just a yes man and agreeable, every manager is a yes man to a degree, because you know there is a limit to what Tottenham can sign. Let's be brutally honest, guys. We can all say we want, like, I'd love Julian Alvarez. Frank could turn around and say, he's the only one I want. Doesn't mean we can get him, does it?
No.
Yeah.
The other difference, but
we've got these ones on the list as well. So, but Stella's right. Stella's right. This manager needs windows.
Yeah.
The other difference that I saw from this summer, if you go back a year, we bought Solanke and 4 kids. I think out of the 5, I think Solanke was the highest wage with 90 grand a week. With this window, Simons is on 195. Kudus, I think, is on 150. Paulinia's on 100 plus.
He's on 160
as well. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They're all on higher wages.
Son, who was on 200. We got rid of big money.
No, but still, we had Kane on 300. We had Lloris on 200. They went. Dyer was on a high wage. Werner was on 165.
Yeah, but we're talking about the summer just gone. The summer just gone.
What they were doing. Whenever they got rid of the higher wage earners,
lowered the structure.
They brought the wages right down, and now they're pushing the wages up. I don't think they can go to the levels of the top clubs, but I think around 200 they can go to. So that was, for me, that was a positive this year. That, you know, and for me, the way Frank said that it wasn't aligning with the way he wants his club to look at players, the data analysis obviously was bringing in players, and maybe Lang was bringing in players that he didn't want. You know, maybe there are another 5, 6, 8, 10 players that Spurs could have bought in the summer. Frank didn't want them. We'll never know that.
True. But also, Lou, you've got to look at I think the biggest thing for me is the excitement of the next transfer windows, is the fact that most of the players we targeted were quality who would improve our squad, right? Eze, Morgan Gibbs-White, every single one of those type of players would improve our squad. Like, I'd still take Gibbs-White right now. I think he's better than what we've got in terms of...
I'll take him all day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If we go and get Morgan Gibbs-White...
No brainer, Danny, no brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
He walked straight in with Paulinho, wouldn't he?
And he's got everything you want as a midfielder. Yeah. Him and Paulinho playing together, I think, is a very good midfield.
Danny,
mate, he's better than Sarr, he's better than Bergvall, he's better than anyone else that plays in that role.
But this is my point. For all the fans that say things like, "Oh, Morgan Gibbs-White," if a Morgan Gibbs-White, for example, came straight into our team, people would realise what some of us have been saying about the level of some of these players, right? So, for example, Kudus walks into the team, and immediately we go, look at the level of player we've got there, right? Because for years, all I've heard was Johnson. Kudus plays, and now we're going, oh my God, Brennan Johnson's got to play today, right? That's what you need all over the pitch. This is, if we want to be a big club, let's stop talking about what some of these kids might be in 2-3 years, and let's go and buy what we need for now. If the kids are good enough, if these young players are good enough, in the background, they will come through, right? If the Bergvalls are going to be good enough, they will stake their place. But right now, we should have quality in that midfield. Right now, we should have quality in those forward areas. And unfortunately, we've not. And
the other player we asked about, Danny, was Morgan Rogers. So we're looking at the right type of players.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, like those type of players, like Morgan Rogers, I know he signed a new contract. It's going to probably not. Only the biggest clubs could probably go and get him. Like you'll pay astronomical money, gone 100 million to get someone like Morgan Rogers right now. But I still think there's so many players out there who are far better than the level of players that we've got. Like you said earlier, Sav, one of the players that I'd love is Angelo Stiller. I think he's a quality player. He's so good. Like, he's waiting to be gotten by someone.
Mate, what about that player that was when we played against Monaco that our fans didn't want in the summer? I forgot his name.
Akelouche.
He balled out against us. Absolutely.
Oh my God. So, all summer, what I heard was, but he plays in a Farmers League, and I'm like,
I remember.
Now again, he looks better than Simons to me. Akelouche looks a better player than Simons.
Mate, he looked fantastic. He looked fantastic.
It's a quality.
PSG, every top club wanted Akelouche, including PSG. But I think Simmons got the potential to be a world-class player. I think it's in there, but he's got the right mentality. But
Yes.
he needs better players around. Yeah, Yildiz for me is my dream signing for Spurs.
He needs to grow in confidence in this league. You can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
when he's on
But
the
I think
ball,
you can see he's
there's
starting
times
to
where he
still.
lacks a bit of confidence to
He's
do what he
starting
knows
to.
he can
You can
do.
see it.
Can I ask you this question, guys, before we go? If right now, just a bit, we had Xavi Simons playing in this 10, and you had prime Son and prime Kane sent up front and left wing, I think we're all sitting here having a very, very different conversation about Xavi Simons' start at Tottenham Hotspur. At the moment, he's had no left winger to play off.
Yep.
And he's got no real striker to play off. Right.
Yep. He hasn't played. He's only played one game, I think, with Kudus on the right.
Right. So a lesson in patience for our fan base a bit with certain players. Just a little bit of patience.
So someone once told me, if you have a team and the team's unbalanced, where some are good, some aren't good, the team will look unbalanced. Players will be very mixed mashy in performance. If you've got a team that's full of good players, but you drop one or two not so good ones, those players will be forced to elevate their game. Otherwise, they won't be able to play at that level. So typically, they can raise their game because they're surrounded by quality. If you have a lot of bad players and a couple of good ones, eventually the good ones end up deteriorating because no one's on their level to play the game they're capable of.
That's why
so
Harry
we're kind of somewhere in that melee of different ways.
Yeah.
So
by the way, I don't want to talk about it now. I'm going to bring it up. A player I would take all day long in our midfield, by the way, is João Gomez from Wolves.
Oh yeah, João Gomez.
Long. I'm looking at that boy and going, that's who should be. And he's at Wolves, who look like they're going down.
So gettable.
Guys, I'm just going to do some super chats and then we'll jump off. Big up to David Crick. Thank you very much. You said you can't use age as an excuse. It comes down to natural ability. Look at what players like Yamal, Paz, Yildiz, Bellingham are doing.
Yeah,
David, I think the key thing for me is I think the age word is always used when someone doesn't play well. We always hear that. When they're young and they don't play well, we hear, but they're young. When they're young and they just play well, they're a professional footballer. But that's just me. Hey, big up to you, David.
Can I just say on one thing on that very quickly? Certain players, they can develop at different times in their careers, right? At different ages. So not every player is going to be unbelievable at 20 years old, right? Some players it does take time. Look at Harry Kane. Harry Kane is the player he is now, and he's in his 30s now. He wasn't at this level when he was 20. So it's the same kind of thing. It's generational players sometimes, like your Haalands, who are just Messi's and the Yamals, Ronaldos. But not every player is going to be like. I'll give you an example. Ian Wright was 27. Sorry, go on.
Danny, I was trying to wrap up the show. And you said just 1 second. You started giving me examples of footballers. Big up to Andy Lester. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Great seeing you on the channel members only show yesterday as well. So big up to you. Big up to Henry Fong TV. This account's been around forever, hasn't it? Big up to you for becoming a YouTube member. Much love. Thank you very much. You've then come back in and said, can Danny please change his profile pic? I don't want to see R9. That was a very odd picture, by the way, that we saw. Yeah, that's
who is
who's
that?
It's Richarlison.
Is that Richarlison as Derek?
Yes.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Derek, the Ricky Gervais show.
You know, Derek. Type in Derek Ricky Gervais online.
Type in Derek Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, it's funny. And that's Richarlison, basically.
Big up to you. And Jordan, thank you very much. Always very generous to me. You are. He said, Sarr is good for games like PSG and Man City when we see less of the ball. Bang on. Bang on. I don't want this guy in a game where we've got the ball. He's not good on the ball. For the amount of criticism Simons has got, you can clearly see we have no good technical players around him for him to properly thrive. Jordan, I just think that with Xavi Simons again, I think that I think he will come good. I think people need to give him time. I think we're very quick to judge. I mean, Stell's given Moani about 8 minutes, and he's not having it. He's not having it at all. Lubo was telling him. Big up to you, Jordan. You're very, very generous, my man. Thank you very much. I'll just see if anybody is live that I can redirect you to. if anyone is at 1 a.m., then they're sad like we are. Let's see if anybody's live. Who is live?
I only came on because you asked.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you over to. I'm going to send you over to my man Flawless at Sarcasm City. He's live. He's a really nice guy as well. So if you get over there, please just say Savva Raid or FHTV Raid. He's a good lad. Please get over to the Spurs 5 and subscribe. Hopefully the fact that you've seen me now stream with Sean, Lubo and Stel will tell you, for all those people trying to make up narratives as to why I left the Spurs 5, that there's no issues. I've seen so many things. It's ridiculous. Please get over to the Spurs 5. And Stel has a new channel called Spurs Corner. So please get over to Spurs Corner. And his first live is Wednesday.
Yeah, basically it's the Tottenham away, guys, but we've had to change the name of the channel. So Iggy, Maz, myself, Mari, JP, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bang on. Listen, thanks, guys. Thanks, Lubo. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Stel. I'm about to crash, so I'll see you guys later. Please, when you get over to Flawless, just Savva Raid, FHTV Raid. He is a Man United fan as well. So talk about Spurs. Take care, guys. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.